is up, everyone? What is up? Happy hump day. What's everyone up to? It's been a long day. I actually got off the phone just before this. I'm getting callbacks for all of the job applications I put in. I'm looking for a better job. I'm not unemployed. I'm just looking for a better job. I have 2 so far that have reached back out. I may have another one potentially in the works. So all the applications I put out in late November through December and early on in this month seem to be taking effect, but it's not that I don't like my team or the people I work with. It's that leadership doesn't know how to stick to their priorities and seems to be playing CYA most of the time than actually taking ownership for things. And the company is underpaying me. And I'm tired of having to, you know, be underpaid and pay for myself to go to education events, so it is what it is. Will they take over Denmark? Who knows? Trump is a schmuck, we know that. In multiple ways. If you tried ICE, they give 50,000 sign-up. So funny enough, there were some job applications for DHS. They kept coming in my recommended feed. I'm not a federal government worker guy. I'm just not. And what I have in my hand here is some RAM a friend gave me. I just want to like point out how we have to start making things look like illicit in order to, you know, grab our stuff. This looks so illicit. He handed it to me, you know, palmed it. I'm like, 64 gig, ECC, it's good stuff, pure uncut. What's up with the connection? So my ISP is actually in the middle of doing upgrades, and it's been iffy here and there. So by the end of the year, I should have what's called high split, which means that I will be able to have symmetrical bandwidth. So if I have a gigabit plan like I do now, I will have gigabit upload. But I'll probably downgrade to 500 megabit both ways, because I really only got the gigabit for the larger upload. But yeah, I saw some packets drop there, but yeah, should be stabilizing now. But yeah, I have 2 32 gigabyte DDR4 Samsung ECC sticks, and I think these are registered DIMMs. Originally, I was planning to put them in that firewall over there. However, there's an issue. I noticed when trying to use the other sticks, well, these were too tall. Now, I did get some low-profile sticks that I threw into the firewall, upgraded from 16 gigabytes to 64 to prep it for its life as a logging server. I may take those sticks out, put them in that one, and then put these in that. But I also have a couple of crucial, very low profile, brand new 32 gigabyte ECC sticks. So I may just keep these as a backup, because DDR4 ECC is getting harder to find. Did you see the Hightail video? I have not. It's SDIMM. No, it's regular ECC memory. It's regular DDR4. Like, it physically fits and clicks in and everything. The issue is that there's a steel plate that you put down right below the top case, and that plate literally, like, pushes it just like a millimeter or two. So theoretically, I could get it to fit, no problem. I could even take some tin snips and cut around that, if I really wanted to do that. I don't want to, but I could. But, yeah, so That's memory, but the firewall has been upgraded to 64 gigabytes of memory for the time being. I was planning to spec it out with 16, then I did a little bit of research, and I'm like, I probably should put 32 in there, because some of the PFSense higher-end ones are 32 gig, and I'm doing a lot in my firewall now. I also got to play with IPMI. Just on the big screen on YouTube. What? Oh, you're watching me on the big screen? You have an open MoCo. Don't know what that is. It's early access right now. Oh, you may just want to send me a link. I may take a look at it. Tomorrow I was thinking about doing another stream so I could do some gaming or stuff. Tonight's going to be a chill one. Because I was late and I didn't get dinner, so that's a shit ton of sushi. They had a BOGO. So I got Alaskan rolls and I got spicy tuna rolls. Actually look forward to your streams yesterday. I fell asleep halfway. I was tired. Aww. That means a lot to me, actually. I appreciate that. It's in review on stream. I'll take a look at it. On TikTok the way it's meant to be watched. Actually, the stream is more so optimized for Twitch, and then YouTube, and then Kick, and then the lowest class is TikTok. TikTok gets it at 720p, and you only get it at a 9:16 ratio, so you got a lot of the stuff cut off, whereas everything else is 16:9. So, yeah. Sushi, last time I had all-you-can-eat sushi, I'm pretty sure I consumed at least 2,000 calories of sushi. That is very likely. They have a Linux launcher. Okay. I may take a look at it in the near future. Hold on, let me pull up the review on stream. Hightail Day 1 explained. Okay. I just want to find where my place was last I was in these videos, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so we got the Hacktivist. We got Intel pulls and NVIDIA. Did that. Oh! Okay, so I think we are here. I'm pretty sure we're here. Let me make a note for myself. Okay, so now that I have that note, we'll definitely take a look at the Hightail video before I get into the rest of this. But there was a CES 2026 video that I wanted to see where they basically were just apparently it was one of my creators that I follow is like, this is, gonna hurt Tesla. I'm like, that's interesting. What's up, Bedrock? How's it going, buddy? So give me 1 second. Where was your video? Okay. Boop. Okay, so this is Hightail on day 1. This is one of the games that my mod keeps ranting and raving about. So I guess I'll take a look at it and see what the hype is.
Hightail is available to download as of today, and this is your Hightail Day 1 survival guide.
So is this like a Minecraft with extra steps?
A surviving your first night in game sort of thing, but rather it'll be a surviving your first day with the game kind of video. We're going to cover a lot of ground, and I will warn you when spoilers might show up. Whether you want to play the game's exploration mode for all that it has to offer, or you want to push this game's much anticipated building tools to their limits,
the country is switching to Euros.
To see what all the fuss is about.
Bedrock, you're in... Which country are you in? I'm trying to remember all my followers that, are usually here. I want to say, like, Anguilla, or I think that's somebody else, though. I could be wrong.
gonna help you get started.
Bulgaria,
And hopefully
okay.
I'll save you
I
some
was
time
like,
if you give me
that
a few
doesn't
minutes
sound
of your
right.
time. If you plan on buying the game, consider using
So
code
wait,
Venom at checkout.
is Bulgaria
as it
actually
directly
part of
helps
the
me out at
EU?
no
like
additional
all
cost to
together
you.
already?
Thank
Or are
you.
they just
So,
becoming
let's get into
what is it? I always, it's been a while since I studied European Union, but like, what is it? You have the Schengen zone. Basically, you have an area that follows the EU or just trades in the EU. It's different. Yes, from 2007. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Day 1 survival.
So why did it take
A
so long
portion
for
of
your
this video
country
is
to...
sponsored by Apex
So your country
Hosting.
probably
More
accepted
about them
euros,
later.
but they didn't probably conduct business too much in euros.
Game. So just so you know, we'll be in game by this timestamp. First off, download the launcher, install it, install the game, and then start up Hightail. I can't believe the day is finally here.
Okay.
So starting from...
So, Vampire, this is the game that you're raving about. How much is this game? Because I really don't want to buy another game to not finish.
main menu, we have worlds, minigames, servers, my avatar, and settings. Before actually making your first world, now would probably be the best time for you to make
Tomorrow's salary will arrive in euros. $20?
If
That's
you
not
used to
bad.
How things work in Minecraft Java Edition, you might be surprised to find out
Here, let
that
me,
there
full
are
screen
no
this.
options to just upload a skin of your own making, but Hightail does provide quite a few options of its own, and you can customize the color on effectively every single item, and modded custom skin
I want to
options
know
should be available in due
what is the big difference between this and Minecraft, okay? Tell me this as someone who has barely played Minecraft except to F with my friends when they say, do you want to play Minecraft? And I do stupid shit. Standard is $20. Okay. $69 for the top tier. What does the top tier get you? Stores accepting euros and our currency till the end of the month. Oh. My advice to you, save some of your currency that's native to your country. It'll be good for at least a collector's item. So after a few years, you may actually be able to get more money than what's on face value. Potentially. Not always. Gets you capes and badges. Don't know what that means. Thoughts on Steam Machine. I know it's not out yet. It's Linux-based, I think. We talked about that a lot. I think it'll be good overall, but I'm really concerned with Ramageddon happening right now and how that's going to affect it. So, I don't think I'll personally get a Steam Machine, not because of anything against it.
Now chilling in the lab.
Thank you for the follow. Sensitive mushroom tip, really? Some of you and your names. I think it'll be a good thing overall. I'm personally not interested in it, not because, I think it's bad or anything, but because I don't see where it fills a need for me because of my machines. I mean, I've got my main workstation over here with the 5070 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM, 5950X. I've got my stream machine here with the 5700X and a 5050, and also 64 gigs of RAM. I've got plenty of computing, power, even on my laptop and stuff like that. So for me, it doesn't make sense. But for a lot of entry gamers, people that just want to buy a machine and go to game rather than go get the Walmart special and be disappointed with it, I think it'll be great because, there's a lot of kids that want to do gaming, and then parents, grandparents often want to, make their kid happy. They go buy a computer. Nothing bad with that, but they don't know better. And they buy this machine, and the kid doesn't get the experience they necessarily wanted because it may not be powerful enough to drive the monitor they got or whatnot. Bunch of gear in pre-release was name reservation. Okay. Server management is easier. Well, server management hasn't really been an issue for me, but that's just me.
Some of you might spend 5 minutes in this menu, while others might be here for hours. Go nuts. Let me know what you think of this Ant Venom character recreation.
I'm kind of a basic bitch. I literally just drop out of the character. I'm like, I want to play the game.
You should know that there are quite a few options here that can be adjusted, and as you play Hytale and get more used to it, you might want to tinker around with quite a few of these settings. So just be aware of that, because there are a lot of them. So now, I think we're ready to load up our very first world. Well,
most people don't know how the computer works in general. Mac, Windows, or Linux, so...
If you want a pure day one survival experience,
you just need to know how to get it to run their app.
Many of us have always wished we could relive with Minecraft, then just fire up an exploration world and get used to playing the game naturally. Have that first experience. Pause this video and just play Hytale. If you want that first experience to be with your friends, then you have two options. The first is a local hosting option that lets players join your single player world so long as you have it loaded. And the second is a more traditional paid server hosting option. So option number one, to do this, pause the game once you're in the world, hit online play.
So when they say server hosting, I presume they mean you run your own box, like I can spin up a Linux box and do the hosting on it like I do on Minecraft. In Minecraft, you can even get it posted off of a light bulb.
Allow other players to join. Set a password if you...
Hytale is built for minigames. Minecraft isn't completely, and Hytale supports server-side mods. Minecraft, that is rare to find server-side mods. In Hytale, you can modify everything you can see, like make a house talk. Okay, so let me see if I understand this right. So server-side mods, so basically when you jump into the world, it'll load the mods, download it from the servers that you're ready to go, rather than with some servers in Minecraft, you have to make sure that you have everything pre-installed on your local client in order for it to run. Am I understanding that right? Host your own mod server, but not yet. Okay.
And then hit save. A button to copy a share code to your clipboard will appear, and you can send this over to your friends.
Okay, that's clever.
That the share code does contain your IP address, so only send it to people that you trust.
It hurts when I pee. If anyone wants to know my IP address, it's 127.0.0.1. Go at it. Go DOS that.
Seriously. Once you send the code, they just have to go to their servers tab on the main menu, hit join via code.
Hey bestie, I'm sockless and I'm not apologizing. Neither am I.
Paste in the code.
Are you eating Costco foods at the moment? No.
That prevent someone from joining.
I got sushi ordered in.
Just join your
They had a buy one get one. I said that earlier. You must have not been on stream.
If you want a more traditional server experience where players can join freely and you don't have to keep your computer on 24/7, then this video's sponsor, Apex Hosting, will have vanilla and modded server options available from day one. Apex Hosting are an official Hytale launch partner, and they're already working on easy CurseForge integration to make mod installations a seamless process. This is
like Roblox, Minecraft. That's what it looks like.
Building and create.
Although to be fair, I barely played Minecraft and I've never played Roblox.
To their limits with custom content. All of their servers use powerful hardware to ensure a lag-free experience right out of the gate, and they have 24/7 support if you need help with the setup. Support me by using the link in the description to get started. So
here's a question, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can host it on Windows. Does this, if it doesn't have it right now for server hosting, but when it's set up, will I be able to spin up a DigitalOcean droplet, for example, or an AWS Amazon EC2, and then run my own server for my community? Because in all honesty, I've been trying to play around with the idea of doing some community games for us.
With all of the options covered to get you and your friends in-game, I think we're ready. First, I'll start with exploration mode, as that's my specialty.
You can use Linode.
We'll dive into creative mode, and I'll show you around there as well. Now, when you go to create a world, take note of the settings icon, as there are
as a person who has played both, it falls short of replicating either of them currently.
Default for now, but
But it's because it's early days and they're planning to have more content released, is my understanding. Is that why it's not replicating both, or was it genuinely just kind of falling short of the promises they made? I'm just genuinely asking. Corner server now has a Docker version. Okay. I could run that on a Portainer server. Pretty simple. Well, I'd probably just spin up Amazon Droplet or DigitalOcean Droplet. I mean, you can use Linode too. It's 6 half a dozen the other for the pricing. We just rent dedicated servers from a provider. What do you think about the massive Verizon outage, incompetence, or malicious attack? So I kept hearing about that from one of my friends while I was at work. I don't use Verizon, and neither does work, so I didn't really look into that. It's probably going to be a few days until we get an RCA. 175,000 customers. So I wonder if it's very similar to what T-Mobile and AT&T have done in the past, where I remember they pushed some kind of firmware to the towers and it messed up. Shouldn't be a impact. Heard that people are getting service back. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, it might have been a tower issue with some system. I guess we'll have to wait a day or two until we have the full RCA.
You want to change these settings later? You can by just
I do give it up to early access, but I'll be honest, it gives me that half-baked Lego Fortnite.
Here lies an option that'll take you straight to where your world saves are as well, so that's handy. All right, let's create the world and actually hop in.
I do give it up to early access, I'll be honest. Look at the half-baked Lego Fortnite. So I will say this is one thing that irks me with all these games that are early release. On one hand, I understand indie devs need to make money up front to finish the games very often. Not disputing that point. The problem is, I don't like the fact that now that we have the internet so accessible, game developers have had the attitude shift from when I grew up, which was, we have to make sure this is completely fine, there are no bugs, and it ships out great, to, oh, we have this major bug? Oh, well, we'll just ship an update in production. And, like, you'll get day zero updates where you play a game, you install it, and then it has to do another major update. Like, there's been updates that are the size of the game itself. It's a little bit crazy when those things happen. So, yeah, I can kind of see that argument. Developers don't test in 2026. You tell me that? Yeah, that's for sure. They definitely don't, and they vibe code everything.
Welcome to Hytale's Exploration Mode, which is akin to Minecraft Survival. Even though it's incomplete and we should expect many updates to change things in the future, for what it is right now, Exploration Mode is a pretty well-rounded experience that'll give you well over 24 hours of content to discover. You're likely to spend your first hour learning just how different Hytale is from Minecraft. I won't spoil the details of exactly where to explore and where to find specific crafting supplies and whatnot, but just know that you'll have to travel all throughout the world, and especially certain biomes both above and below ground, in order to gather all the things that you'll need. Opening up your inventory for the first time will reveal that there is no crafting grid in Hytale. Just find the right amount of whatever materials the recipe calls for and craft it. One is a campfire where you can cook food, one is a bed which will let you sleep the night away and set your spawn point, with the rest being basic supplies that I'm sure you'll get the hang of. Two of the items that you can craft, however, are workbenches. The builder's workbench.
So I will be completely honest, I've never really gotten the hang of Minecraft crafting because I just didn't play the game that much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on these type of games at all. They fit a niche. A lot of people like them. May just not be my cup of tea, who knows?
You put in a variety of building blocks like every variation of wood and stone, and I'm sure a lot more, and it'll present you a ton of different output options to help you make your first build as perfect as you could want it to be. It's like if Minecraft Stonecutter got an upgrade. The regular workbench will show you a wide variety of tool upgrades, some miscellaneous items, and 10 additional workbench-like items along with a furnace that all serve their own unique purpose. As you dive into what each one has to offer, you might notice that some of the items are locked and require for you to upgrade that workbench in order to craft any specific item, which you can do by finding the required supplies as listed on the right side of that workbench when it's open. I'm not going to get into exactly what each workbench
I remember
does
almost
in this
all
video,
Minecraft
as
crafting
I want
recipes,
you
just
to
not
experience all of
poisonous. If you remember all the Minecraft recipes, you must have played a lot of Minecraft. Just how much grass did you touch? And I don't mean in Minecraft.
naturally.
I'm teasing
but
you.
There are brief explanations about every crafting recipe and many of the base items if you just hover over those items. Whenever you're in a workbench that requires a specific kind of item to just be dropped into it, hovering over the empty input square will highlight any of the items in your inventory that are compatible with that workbench. And last, but certainly not least, before we go exploring, opening up any interface like the inventory, a chest, or any of the workbenches will show these icons on the top right of each interface that are worth knowing about. My favorite has to be the quick stack button, which will let you quick deposit any items that are in your
played since the
inventory
360.
into a chest.
Okay, that makes sense.
If the chest already contains that item. Super useful if you keep things organized because it lets you empty out a lot of your inventory really quickly once you've returned from an adventure. And speaking of adventure, now is the time that we're going to step out into the world at large. Given the spoiler-free nature of this video, there's only one key detail about the world at large that I'm going to cover here, and the rest will be up to you for now. This will be a mild spoiler, but if you miss this detail and play for hours before finding it, you will regret it. Hytale has an integrated in-game map that you can get to by pressing the M key. The map will show all of the terrain that's currently rendered.
I don't think did Minecraft have a map? I don't feel like it did.
Nearby structures to check out later, and most importantly, it'll show you the location of the nearest forgotten temple gateway.
Look, I haven't played in like a year or two.
If the icon doesn't show up on the map, approach it carefully, and once you go through the gateway, make your way down to the heart of Orbis and unlock the memories feature. Now, anytime that you encounter a mob throughout the world, a memory of it will be logged, and you can bring any and all memories that you find back to the heart of Orbis, with there being various rewards depending on how many memories that you've collected. If you can collect all 240 of them and see every mob that Hytale currently has to offer, then it's safe to say that you've gotten a pretty full experience of Hytale's exploration mode.
That's a nice way to say
more without spoiling
you've touched too much digital grass.
So now, let's hop on over to creative mode. Much like the previous segment, this is going to focus more on getting you set on the right path if this is the mode that you feel like playing with. Also, creative mode is not exactly my strong suit, but I can definitely help you along in knowing where to look for various tools. So, the options for making a creative world are a little different than a survival world, with the key one being a selection for which world type you want the world to be.
I mean, this seems interesting.
Creative Hub, though, you'll be able to access
I may give this a shot, but
portals within the Creative
I need to really
Hub.
finish the games I already have.
With everything, the first thing you'll probably want to do is run the command op-self, as many of the commands are not available in creative mode if you don't do this first. After that, bring up your inventory and check out the Creative Tools tab. The first item we'll naturally take a look at are the Builder's Tools, which just takes us back to the inventory. But as you can see, things are a little bit different here. On the far right are a bunch of options that you can mess with, so if you want to be able to no-clip through blocks, that's over there. And then there are 3 tabs that let you cycle through every single block and item.
I've never really done creator mode,
including the rifle, which you need crude arrows to fire. Have fun with that one on your multiplayer server.
Wait, what?
The 4th tab.
You have a rifle that needs crude arrows to fire. What?
Inventory, though, is easily the most innovative, and I can't wait to see what people do with it. But here's something I whipped up with just 2 tools to give you a brief idea. I wanted to recreate the idea of the dueling peaks from Breath of the Wild, so I set my paintbrush settings to let me build a bunch of tall peaks really quickly, painted a whole ton of stone roughly in the shape that I wanted, smoothed it all out with the smoothing tool, and then I changed my paintbrush material to grass, and I set the mask to stone, so
that takes a lot of time to make anything creatively in there.
On top of what I had just made. And there we go. It's not much, but I made it in 5 minutes, and I'm not a creative builder, and I barely know what I'm doing here. Feel free to toy around with these menus and try some of these tools out for yourself. If you're a modder who plans on coding with Hightail,
I'd make a map of a middle finger,
or both, then you'll definitely want to check out the Assets tab. These are not my specialties, but I'm betting there will be some good videos covering these features in the days following this video's release. Next, there's the Help menu, which will give you an ordered list of every single command that Hightail has to offer.
That's a lot of commands.
On how to use many of them. Over time, I do hope that more examples get added to each of these entries, and I also hope we get tab completion for writing out commands much like we have in Minecraft. But for day 1 Hightail,
tab completion is Bay when it comes to Linux administration.
The Machinima tab,
yeah, that'll be nice.
Which provides you the ability to create your own cinematic masterpieces entirely in-game.
Wait,
with
what?
A camera tool, a timeline to edit keyframes, and so much more that I plan on learning how to use in the near future. Then there's the World tab, which just has a whole bunch of fun options.
So now, how long will it be until someone makes videos in Hightail for OF? Rule 34.
You can import any OBJ file and just paste it into your world, which I'm sure we'll see a lot of, especially within Hightail's first month. You can do the same thing with image files, which will paste the image with blocks for pixels. You can spawn entities, particles, or any of the prefabricated structures that you'll see
2 days after the full game comes out.
World, and many that are just not in use at all. And then you can change your player model if you feel like role-playing on your server as a fox, or a Quebec, or anything. Just be careful with models that are really small.
I thought he was going to say something completely different when he started with the Q.
Otherwise, things can break pretty quickly. And that pretty much covers it. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of
I just switched from Windows to Catchy OS, and you're the first creator that popped up FYP.
Around with.
Nice.
But I hope this guide
Happy hacking, buddy.
a good first step into whatever facet of Hightail that you feel like playing around with. Now go out and enjoy your first adventure with the game. If you're about to go and buy it, don't forget to use my creator code at checkout if you feel like it. I hope you all enjoyed. My name is Ant Venom, and thanks for watching.
So don't get me wrong, seems like an interesting game. But I still want to finish my library, because, like, do you see how many games I have in here that I have not finished? Like, I think the next one I want to do, I still want to finish Borderlands 4, just out of spite. I haven't finished Borderlands 2 or 3. I haven't finished Clair Obscure Expedition 33. I have Control, haven't finished that. Haven't finished Cyberpunk. Dark Sector had issues, but, I love that game on the Xbox. I still haven't played Dark Souls. Like you can see, 1 minute just to make sure the game ran. I've played Deus Ex, Diablo 4, we've done that. Of course, all the Dooms except Eternal and Dark Age, we haven't finished those. Elden Ring, haven't finished that. I do want to do a replay of Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5 eventually. Still need to finish Fallout 4. I did finish Far Cry 5. I've beaten all the Fear games already. We have Final Fantasy 15. We did finish Gears. I'm trying to see. God of War Ragnarok, haven't finished that. We've finished all the Half-Lives. We finished all the Halos. High on Life was a funny game as well. Maybe I should one day replay that. Still haven't finished Hollow Knight Silk Song. There's a lot of games that I have in here, but I think the next one I want to do is Red Dead Redemption 2, because I still haven't finished that. I just said it was interesting. After I buy it, I'll wait for control support because have that in the whip. Okay. Work in progress. Cool. Sony is back? In what way? Joined a little late. We went over what happened with the Verizon outage. Well, we don't know too many details of what happened in the Verizon outage. I know it didn't affect me. I know there were 175,000 people out. We're probably going to be getting details over the next day or two of the root cause analysis. So, we shall see. All right. I can't remember if we saw this video last stream or not. This was CES 2026, just ended Elon Musk, Tesla. Can't remember if we saw
Elon Musk and Tesla are absolutely getting crushed today. Why? CES 2026, that's a Consumer Electronics Show, and basically all these companies are coming out with stuff that is far beyond what Tesla is up to. These are your headlines in today. CES 2026 shows Tesla is the legacy company now.
Using wine,
news, basically.
I got a whole fridge of it.
Hope of leading in anything. Now, I would actually push back because I think Tesla can lead in some things, and that would be basically false promises. This is for coming from Bloomberg. Tesla is swapping its EV crown for
You pirated Schedule 1, but you can't play it on any launcher? Well, maybe you should pay for the game. Look, I don't agree with pirating indie games especially. But pirating games also has been a huge vector of how malware has been spreading for the past few years. Ever played Dota 2? I have not.
Promises, so basically they're getting crushed in sales. Check this out. This is Jensen Wong of
Bought it on Steam, still crashed after the prologue. Don't know what to tell you. I played it pretty well.
Okay, all right, come here. Now one of the things that...
Backlog game completion.
They have little Jetson
very low
inside them. They're trained inside Omniverse. And how about this? Let's show everybody the simulator that you...
And so basically what you got Jensen out in his shiny jacket, tennis shoes, and showing off some gear. And this whole thing destroys Elon Musk's thesis because basically Elon Musk is rotating from cars and saying, oh, we're going to be a robotics and AI company. But there's already a lot of competition in that space, and you're getting crushed in cars. This is the news then today. Tesla's full 2025 data from Europe is in, and it is a total bloodbath. They're getting crushed in Europe.
It's only going to get worse for Elon.
Your part in Europe, so I think you can do much.
The reality is, Elon's not as advanced as he leads a lot of people on about the technology in his companies. It's just a reality. I don't care if you like the guy or you hate the guy. That's the objective reality. He's very good at bullshitting people. He's been promising, what, full self-driving for 10 years now? Give or take? Still hasn't been able to deliver on it. And everybody's like, well, Elon's so smart, you know, all that. I'm like, dude, he was merely fortunate enough to have a wealthy family to give him a start better than the rest of us. And then he had the money to hire people to do the things that are actually smart. At the end of the day, everyone's like, well, Elon, you know, he's so forward thinking. And I'm like, a lot of his ideas I heard with my friends while we were taking bong rips in college, okay? He's, you know, like, look, I can come up with a lot of the same ideas he had, too. Because, you know, you get in that state of mind with that K. But anyway. What distro am I on? Pop OS. I want to stream Roblox videos on my laptop, but only got 4 GB in AMD Ryzen 3. Any tips? Get better hardware. That's the honest truth. Not trying to be mean or anything, but if you're saying you only have 4 gigabytes, and I'm presuming that means your RAM, you would need at least 16 just for the gaming. 32 ideally if you want to do a little bit more than that. And then you would need a better CPU and a GPU to push that as well.
Better because the aggregate, the total is sales for Tesla are only down 27.8%. We got to bump that up to 100. Most of the countries, basically all of them except for one, sales are declining for Tesla. The only one that's positive is Norway. I think they have more tax credits and benefits for, you know, EVs as a whole because they promote that stuff. But
wow, look at that. Look how massive of a drop that is. Like, very few are even single-digit drops, and the only growth is in Norway. But if you look at, you know, let's just compare, like, Norway to France. France immediately wipes out their gains. UK, down change, half of the gains. Like, this is not sustainable for Elon, and I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that he never should have gotten involved in politics. The problem is when you get involved in politics as a business owner, you then politicize your company, and then people will start associating that company with other things. Even worse is, and I'm being objective here, the crowd Elon was catering to, demographically, are not the type to get electric vehicles with his politics. Those are the people that were literally rolling coal at protests at Tesla dealerships. You had diesel truck drivers, you know, rolling coal. Like, I want you to think about that irony. Oh, Bulgaria? I don't know. I'd have to look this up.
Norway ever decides to get rid of said credit,
This is just the sales that he has up.
completely over in all of Europe. That's literally, I mean, you can see the numbers right there. Multiple countries are down big. You have these kind of headlines then. Tesla.
I use a stream key on Linux. I only use OBS.
Almost half in December, and this is year over year. And I know the Tesla fanboys and fangirls, they'll be crying. It was, oh no, you know, everything's fine. It's just that people don't want to buy cars. I disagree. It's just they don't want to.
The Tesla drop in Germany did not really shock me at all. Say whatever you will about that entire incident when he made the certain salute. Germans are very sensitive to any imagery of that.
That's out of date. This even says here that basically BYD sales are going up, right? Tesla BYD killer sees record-breaking sales results in UK. On top of that, I want to show you a little bit.
Oh, I really want a BYD. I told you that after I came back from Portugal and I got to drive in a few. I want a BYD. That Auto 3 was really nice. I do want to get my next car to hopefully be an EV, but we'll see where we go with that.
Is Jensen Wong is up to. Let's have a watch.
I just don't want it to be a Tesla.
They just announced a new robot, Caterpillar. They've got the largest robots ever. That one delivers food to your house. That's connected to Uber Eats. And that's Surf Robot. I love those guys. Agility, Boston Dynamics. There's a sketch.
And the reason why this is important, guys, is he's showing, like, look at all these different companies with robots and such. The way the Tesla fanboys and fangirls act like that. Elon Musk is the only person in the world, and Tesla's the only company in the world.
Right, and if you look at the stage. I don't see Optimus there, do you? That what is it? Optimus, whatever the hell he's calling it. I don't see that on here. He did build the Tesla off Linux. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You can build a freaking coffee maker. You can build, you know, anything off of Linux. It's easy to get to do whatever you want in lightweight embedded devices. Thoughts on Bazite? It exists.
That. And even at CES, I mean, I'm, you know, constantly always surprised at new stuff that I see. I think, like,
I want to go to CES hopefully next year. I haven't been in a decade.
Any number of things, and like little robots, big robots, right? Robots that don't.
It's just an expensive expense.
Is going to be the future. I don't disagree. Actually, I think Automation is just going to keep coming because that's what companies
If I
want.
do go to CES, I want to live stream it.
I think you guys kind of know it too. Also, like they were showing this little robot here, and it's got like kind of your AI, how can I say it, like integrated in it. So you'll be able to ask it questions and stuff like that. And these things will become more and more useful as they go. And ultimately, you know, there's going to be, how can I say, like a moment when the stuff becomes affordable. Because I think right now, probably one of the holding back things of this would be, why I would say batteries, like the power, all this stuff, because we need more electricity, materials to buy the stuff.
You need more energy capacity in batteries too.
I think cost is going to be a big one. Can you make these things affordable? Now, Jensen's now going to talk about full self-driving, or what we're going to call like auto driving for his cars. So take a look at this.
And generate surround video that is physically based and physically plausible that the AI can now learn from. The ChatGPT moment for physical AI is nearly here. But the challenge is clear. The physical world is diverse and unpredictable.
And so what they were saying,
notice what it is not. It is not a Tesla.
You know, the driving stuff or whatever, the AI, what do you say, the AI, ChatGPT moment, physical AI, I think is what they're referring to. Like the ChatGPT moment, meaning that when everyone starts to pay attention is close. And that might be true. The big one, though, is going to be cost, because you know, one, need to get the technology to work, and two, get the cost to be affordable. But NVIDIA getting into the game heavily really, really hurts Elon Musk and Tesla, because remember, Elon tries to tell you he's the only game in town, but he's getting crushed in sales on cars, tries to go to robots, and I wouldn't doubt NVIDIA. I mean, I wouldn't. I tested NVIDIA's Tesla full self-driver and competitor. Tesla should be worried, 100%, right? And you got stuff like this, and this is why the stock has been moving down for Tesla. Tesla shares fall on market concerns about autonomous driving competition from NVIDIA. You also have this, Mobileye, which is yet more competition. Latest win is another rejection of Tesla's self-driving approach. And the biggest problem really with Tesla is they trying to do it cheap. Elon's cheap, cut corners, he doesn't care about safety. He's trying to do it.
I've said the same thing in prior streams, because the issue is he's trying to focus on visual cameras, but as I've made the point of, humans don't rely on one sense. Touch, taste, smell, hearing, seeing. That's what it comes down to.
Yankinin is now chilling in the lab.
Thank you for the follow. And that's the problem with Tesla, is it's all visual based. You can blind a Tesla. I've seen it happen, where the sun will be in a certain angle, and then it doesn't know anything about its surroundings. And that's the problem.
Only, and you know, all the other companies are like, you know what, we're going to put sensors in these things. We want to keep people safe. If we're going to do it, make sure it's safe. Take a look at what Jensen has to say about like when these things may be coming out.
I'd rather be safe than fast.
Every car will have autonomous vehicle capability. Every single car will be AI powered. And so the model layer in this case is Alfa Romeo, and the application above that is the Mercedes-Benz. Okay? And so this entire stack is our first NVIDIA first entire stack endeavor.
Tesla's cooked. They are cooked, chat. Mercedes with a full stack autonomous vehicle powered by NVIDIA. Tell me, if given the option, let's take money out of the equation. You can have the top of the line Tesla car, you can have this Mercedes over there. Which would you honestly pick? I'm going with the Mercedes.
We've been working on it for this entire time, and I'm just so happy that
So I knew they were doing something with this, but I didn't realize it was like, yo, you're going to be able to buy it like pretty soon. The Mercedes CLA, and they said this is the 2025 here. Listen to hear some more about this.
the first AV car from NVIDIA is going to be on the road in Q1, and then it goes Europe in Q2, here in the United States in Q1, then Europe in Q2, and I think it's Asia in Q3 and Q4. And the powerful thing is that we're going to keep on updating it with next versions of Alpha Mayo and versions after that. This car just got rated. It just went to production. The
Really?
Mercedes-Benz CLA was just rated by NCAP, the world's safest car.
What?
So I think they're level 2 at the moment. I think the level 5, and when you talk about autonomous driving, would be like the full one where you don't need a human and the thing can drive in any condition. Level 4 is kind of where everyone's trying to race to where you can have it drive in certain conditions. I think how they describe it. But right now they're aiming. I think they're at level 2. That's where a lot of these things are. And they're probably going to get better if you're willing to spend the money and do the time and hire the right people, which I wouldn't necessarily doubt NVIDIA.
I'm really curious. Yeah, too.
I still think we're still a ways away, but the point I'm trying to make, though, is that Tesla's clearly not the leader.
There's no single safe card. It tends to be Volvo. I guess there's a lot of opinions on this, but yeah.
This stuff at all. And also I wanted to make the point when I make these kind of videos, the Tesla people are always like, oh, Chris, you just hate technology and stuff like that. No, actually, I don't. I actually like technology quite a bit. That's why I talk about it, but
I like technology
more than...
I just don't like bullshit technology. I don't like being sold BS either. And that's why I've been turned off of Elon for so long. If you remove all the politics, I still don't care for the guy.
Company, there's way more than just Tesla.
I think Volvo did invent the 3-point seatbelt. You're right.
Care about people, and he tries to buy off the government so that we don't look into the damage that his vehicles and company does. So, for example, this just came out today. Tesla accused of killing family plus their dog by steering vehicle head on into oncoming semi truck. This is horrifying.
This kind of stuff. When people are like, how does this happen? How many of you, chat, have actually been inside a Tesla car? Because let me tell you, I have been in more near-death experiences in a Tesla than anything else. It's almost ran into the parking barrier at work. It almost turned into oncoming traffic. Not once, but twice. There was a weird thing when we were just going straight. It suddenly couldn't figure out what it wanted to do and was shaking the wheel. There was the one weird time that it literally just out of nowhere tried to make a hard left turn into traffic, like whip like that. They're just not that great. And I don't know if you've ever talked to the Elangelicals. Every time you bring these issues up, they're like, oh, no, it was fixed in a software update. Oh, no, it was fixed in a software update. They're always excusing it. They're always excusing it. I'm not against EVs. I'm not against autonomous vehicles. I am just against how Elon has been selling them. Elangelicals, a fitting name. Tesla has too many gadgets. Tesla has no focus. The problem is Elon has been more focused on all of his side projects. He had Doge, he had X, that thing, and SpaceX. He should have been focusing on Tesla. That's where he should have focused all his efforts on. F politics. F this social media platform that he bought and ruined. It was already crap to begin with, but he made it worse. And that's why a lot of people have been losing respect and faith for the guy, even amongst the Elangelicals.
Agree. And the basic gist they're going to make here is that Tesla falsely advertises the ability of their products, which is something they've done for quite a long time.
And that's what I mean by selling BS.
Elon Musk teases extreme performance Tesla Roadster, says safety is, quote, not the main goal.
Bad.
And that's always been for Elon Musk at Tesla. Basically, their main goal is to pump up the stock. And when they put out a product...
Safety should always be your primary goal. Safety always comes first. What good is driving fast if you die? The thing about cars, and you need to understand this, and a lot of you do if you're driving, a car is a weapon. A car is a deadly instrument in any person's hands. If you do not control and handle that car appropriately, you can possibly injure or end your life right there, or in others. Safety is always paramount, no matter what. Look at the Cybertruck. That design is not only stupid and clunky, it is unsafe with all those sharp edges. Hell, the apparently the door closing or the trunk or whatever the hell it was doesn't even have any safeties for your fingers being there. What's up, Shiraz? Sounds like a skill issue. My skill is that I don't want to live.
Corners, right, to keep the cost down and charge you a bunch of money for overvalued junk, basically what it ends up being. And there's just so much more value you can get in other company stuff. You also have this. They promise you robotaxis, but
Cybercab trademark
thanks to an issue with its Cybercab trademark, thanks to a comical error from the company. So I guess another trademark on that. So not only
and I just dropped my soy sauce.
Now basically getting into the autonomous car space. You got Boston Dynamics and Hyundai, and it's quite interesting. Hyundai really put their branding on Boston Dynamics at CES here. Take a look at this.
So as you can see, Atlas really does stand up the way that we show in our videos online. And we get tons of questions about this. Zach, while we have everyone here, do you want to provide a little bit of insight into how we made that decision?
I mean, it's pretty.
That's already more advanced than Elon's bots.
Like a person does, and we're looking for the most stable, efficient way to get up, and it turns out this is it.
The other question we get all the time is how Atlas is moving. How is Atlas moving today?
So in normal operation, Atlas is fully autonomous on a job site, but today, Sarvesh, one of our FAEs, is piloting Atlas on the stage, giving it really simple instructions like forwards and backwards.
Some idiot tested this with his actual finger on TikTok. Guess how well it went.
This is Atlas's first time in public, and as you can
I feel like we could take a look at other vehicles in terms of safety. Pickups are big. Some of my friends are shorter than the hood of some trucks. Absolutely.
To push the limits on natural walking just for this performance.
Pickups have always been a point of contention for me. Not in the way that I don't like a pickup. I love a Ford Ranger. Ford Ranger, the old F-150s. Trucks today are larger to get around whatever kind of emission thing it was. I can't remember. There is no functional difference between these bigger trucks and the smaller trucks that I grew up with. I'd rather have a smaller Toyota. I'd rather have a small Ford Ranger. A Ford effing Ranger. Damn straight. You can haul so much. And the big trucks really aren't that much more capable than the smaller trucks. You don't need a big ass truck. Get me a standard car. Like a standard truck. I'll be happy. Like the Tello truck. Have you seen that? That's an EV we talked about a while ago. Pardon me, I spilled some water over here. Thankfully, it's just sparkling water. If you haven't seen the Tello truck, I'll bring this up. Excuse me. This was one of the trucks that was actually on my list that I may want to get. There's the Tello truck, and then there's the Slate Auto. You have this. These both are like regular sized trucks. Like, I would totally rock that. I like that the Slate you can customize. The Tello, though, is kind of like the size of a Mini Cooper, but a little bit larger. I'd rock either one of these. I know it's kind of interesting that you're like that forward in the car, but still. Bring back the Baja and the Brat, yes. I have a legitimate use for a larger truck. I'm hauling shit left and right, and I'm a big person IRL. I drive an F-150 Lightning. But here's the thing. The bigger trucks don't really haul that much more. There's been people that have measured the truck bed size and seen the bed size has really not increased that much. And there's old trucks that'll fit big guys too. The problem is, I don't think that we need every truck to be a large truck. They just need to... I need a functional, usable truck. I don't need to go around and have people think that I'm trying to compensate for something else. Man, you know what I'm talking about right there. El Camino. Yeah, the El Camino. The Crook.
And I think
About Tacoma, I would make sure to get one with a long bed.
We've also been at this robotics thing for a while, and we've learned that there's more to it than just copying nature. We can pick the best parts of what nature has to offer and do better in others. So as you can see, Atlas here has joints that can move 300
So yeah,
no one can say I'm contributing to global warming. Well, with the amount of gas I have, I can't say that.
Or Hyundai in the robotic space, and also there's a whole bunch of Chinese companies that are gonna get in this space as well. Let me show you more of what Hyundai's got planned. This is their kind of what I call it, their video that they put out from the CS in Las Vegas. This is to show you the environment and also the lines. I mean, people are interested in this stuff. You can see people are lining up, you know, and when you go to these kind of stuff,
So this kind of shit is why I want to get a press pass whenever I go to CES. I did that when I was there in 2016. I'm going to try to get a press pass if I do happen to go next year.
have the stuff there. You can see it move around. To me, the tech looks real. It's very different than Elon Musk and stuff like that, because they do robots show and stuff like that in China, and sometimes Elon Musk and Tesla will show up there, but they'll literally just have the robot sitting in a glass case, won't be moving at all. Whereas
they really just put it in a glass case?
Boston Dynamics, they got the dog robots, they got the human robots, and that's like the older designs. I think this stuff is real. Again, it's always still going to be on cost, but in terms of like design, like say a robotic arm, it doesn't have to be a human, right? Like this arm thing for boxes. I mean, I'm sure that's where we're going to go. They have these really cool like little cart thingies there. I think probably Amazon warehouses.
Yeah, that's going to be an Amazon thing.
Just ways of moving stuff around. Now, I also want to be practical with you guys. I know these are sensitive topics because some of these things will ultimately replace human jobs. I'm just being honest.
That is the unfortunate reality.
Certainly, give pushback on that, and I always tell you the truth on that stuff. But I do think there's going to be some uses. I like how they're doing it with, connecting it to people to keep people involved.
Meshtastic versus Meshcore. Really depends on where you're at in the country or the world. Like Meshtastic is more popular where I'm at.
Robot cars. Yeah, there may be uses for, say, deliveries and stuff like that. I could totally see that kind of thing where you maybe have a UPS driver load up a truck, and then the drones or whatever go out. Why not? And then that's sort of ways to move cars. I think it's pretty clever.
Huh.
I mean, yeah, you can see right there. The tech is pretty cool, and I've seen this stuff before. We went to an auto show here in Korea, in Busan, and we saw a lot of this, Hyundai stuff or Kia stuff. And I always say the same thing, guys. Like these.
I hate to be that guy. Do we really need a robot to plug that in? Because, that's going to piss me off as much as it did when I was in Jersey and I had to fight with the gas attendant because he told me he has to do the gas for me. I'm not an invalid. I can pump my own gas. I can plug my own charger in.
This, Hyundai stuff or Kia stuff. And I always say the same thing, guys. Like these are real companies. They got real stuff. And they acquired Boston Dynamics, if you don't know. So that's why the Hyundai branding is everywhere. Usually they don't brand so much, so strongly, but I guess they decided to do.
Well, they're trying to actually sell products, not so much sell stock.
Honda and what they're up to. Let's take a look.
The cabin space, Akira challenges the traditional concept of in-cabin entertainment, creating content design to move you. Through collaboration with diverse partners.
Also, I just got to point out, They got a Crunchyroll ad in the background. Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm going to get one of these cars, and I'm going to sit in the back, and I'm going to be watching One Piece. I'm close to episode 600 now. I'm almost halfway through. No, I'm more than halfway through.
To move you. Through collaboration with diverse partners, Afira brings you movies.
Now, I'll be frank with you guys. This was like a Honda and Sony thing, and their presentation wasn't that good. I mean, Frank, I'm just showing you, but it was kind of weird because they kept focusing on like movies and games and entertainment, which in my opinion was kind of strange to talk with a car. I don't know how many people really want to play games and watch movies in their car, but that's kind of the angle they're taking. Watch a little bit more, you'll see what I'm saying.
Can extend beyond the living room in ways that feel natural and useful for gaming fans. We hope players will enjoy the new way to access some of the best games this generation has.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, though.
Including Astrobot, God of War Ragnarok.
I don't know about playing a game in my car.
And 2026 will be one of the best years yet for players, with highly anticipated games like Resident Evil Requiem, Marathon.
Yeah, and I like games, but I just thought it was strange that they were coming.
Yeah, that is kind of strange.
This partnership and like games and stream media in the car.
Sir, what were you doing when you crashed your car while I was playing God of War? Is that what's really going to happen? And I said the same thing, and people told me it's good for disabled people. If you ask me if someone is disabled enough to the point where they need the robotic arm to plug the charger into their car, then should they really be allowed to drive a car? Fair enough. If you are not... I was just trying to process through my head. Like, even if you had a car with hand controls, if your hands are not steady enough for you to actually drive the car like that you can't put a charger in or a gas pump, then yeah, you shouldn't be driving. That may offend some people, but that is true.
I wouldn't necessarily bet against Honda or Toyota. I think they're great and reliable cars. They have been for years, but I'm just showing you, what I'm seeing here. They call this thing the Feely. I don't know. I was not feeling it, even though I called it the Fila. Take a look at this. Just take a look for yourself.
Experience to even more customers across the U.S.
We anticipate the start of delivery to customers in California late this year. For the Japanese market, we plan to begin deliveries in the first half of 2027. But there's more to tell you. The way we are fusing diverse technologies to deliver a completely novel mobility experience is not limited to a single model.
So that's kind of what they were going for. They're calling it, mobility, integrating technologies. I don't mind the designs of these things, actually. And I'd be curious your thoughts, but
they do look nice.
The presentation, they were really focused on the games entertainment.
I have to say, these cars look nice. I would totally rock that. That looks nice. It's sleek. I mean, I'd probably change up the rims, but it could, Are these two completely different cars? Like, I know they're two different cars, but, are they two different models, or are they just the same in different colors? Because they look radically different, but I will say this. It doesn't look like this car, with the tinting, would be legal in many states.
Stuff, and I just thought that was a
maybe it's the lighting
to go with, but that's them. I'm actually curious how Toyota's going to come out as well. I wouldn't bet against either of these, and I also wouldn't bet against the German brands. They're going to come out with cool stuff as well.
That's exactly why I'm waiting for Toyota in Germany to come out, because
I'm going to buy a Rivian.
Eventually, I might get one of them.
I think Rivian's problem is they can't produce enough of those things. It's tough, right? Car manufacturers not.
Well, Rivian's also the other issue is they're too costly.
So I want to talk a bit about this. How Tesla's completely failing. This is Elon Musk, right? AI. The mother of one of Elon Musk's children says his AI bot won't stop creating images of her, right? Basically, how you want to put it. I'll just say this: when you take someone's real photo and manipulate it in a way that creates adult.
Did you hear about this actually going on with Grok? Like, it's really bad, where there are people creating CSAM of children using Grok. There's no filters on it. Like with ChatGPT, even if you have it do an adult woman, it won't let you. Same thing with all the other AIs things. That's how it should be. And then Grok's like, no problem, I got you. The problem with being free speech absolutists is no one's really an absolutist. There's always a line that everyone's going to cross. And I think Elon's slowly realizing that. Although, to be fair, he's never really been truly a free speech absolutist. He's been more of for free speech that he agrees with. That's just the way it works. But yeah, there definitely needs to be something about Grok to the point that I wouldn't rule out government intervention being necessary, because Elon's really messed with AI so much to the point that it's rather a dangerous thing because he doesn't allow it too many guardrails that it should have.
Not cool. And that's something that Elon's like, I'm a free speech person. You can, do children or anything that you want. And seriously, it's been a problem with children and that kind of image, that kind of content. UK government urges Elon Musk to address, quote, appalling Grok AI deepfakes. And then you're going to get in the issues of, if, Elon Musk, he thinks it's fine if you make fake videos of, and you can even fake people's voice these days, basically just putting out whatever crap out there that you want. And, it can be very, very harmful to society if you just like fake stuff. I hope you guys understand the seriousness of these things.
And it's only going to get worse.
Stuff, one is like people feel like they feel the phrase that I've been hearing.
I think the big problem we have is
if you use my image to,
we don't stop to think just because we could.
Me doing stuff I didn't do. That
should
kind of
we?
Stuff. But it could be used for any number of things, not just the not safe for work kind of content.
What Linux distro are you doing?
A simple one, like
are you building one yourself, or
broadcast of a news program and make it seem like there's an event happening that didn't happen? That was actually in CNBC News today. I saw that I guess on Elon Musk's platform, there's all these fake videos out there regarding what's going on Venezuela. So do be careful out there with the stuff that you see, because AI, it is getting, more realistic. Despite all these crazy things, Elon Musk is still raising money. Elon Musk XAI raises $20 billion in new round.
How?
So basically he's getting out of Tesla and trying to do that. It's also interesting as well, because I was kind of curious what was going on with his restaurant thing. Tesla's diner went from viral sensation to empty pits stop in 6 months. So basically, I read through this. I guess it was, kind of cool in the beginning because it was something new, and, people who are influencers or whatever, the Tesla fanboys, fangirls, they go to the initial parties. But then after that, I guess now there's like more staff than
well, that's
customers.
how it is.
Kind of the,
you overhype
the hype has died down, costs are too much. If you don't have a Tesla car, it's not really great to go there. It's not great. I mean, you can read it. It says, early feedback leaned heavily positive, driven by hype and novelty. More recent reviews tell a different story. Common complaints include slow service, higher prices, limited parking for non-Tesla owners, and lack of anything that generally feels futuristic. So, someone wrote his was a huge disappointment, etc. But this is kind of what all of Tesla and Elon Musk are, right? The Tesla diner was always more about brand than food. That alone is not a problem. The issue is execution. Once the buzz faded, the diner needs to stand on its own, and it's struggling to do so. It's not affordable.
He's probably going to shut that down enough
and
soon
not
enough.
Constantly innovative enough to justify its promises.
Go to bed, Bengali. Feel better, buddy.
Outside the Tesla.
Thanks for stopping by.
And then you got, Elon Musk problem where people just don't like him, and that's kind of where we're at. And that's why I always tell you guys, like, other companies are for real, right? Hyundai and NVIDIA executives meet at CES 2026 to broaden self-driving alliance. I wouldn't bet against.
Have a good day, Bengali.
Bet against NVIDIA. BYD's coming on strong, and there's going to be more competitors out there. I always want to make it clear. I'm not just like say, hey, you have to buy any particular brand. I think there's a lot of brands out there, and the main point is though is that it's clear, like at CES when Tesla's not even there, they got nothing compared to what other stuff. And you know, it comes to robots, I would, if you want to look.
You know, it's amazing to think about. When I was at CES 2016, that's when they were actually unveiling the Tesla auto driving and everything like that. And even then, I was kind of like, this feels a little bit gimmicky. I don't think they're going to be able to deliver on the promises that they made. This was back in 2016. Before I was making content, before I was doing any of that stuff. Yeah. And now they're not at CES at all.
They're a pretty good horse, but there'll be a lot of stuff coming out of China. It may come a lot cheaper. And then you got a real fight on your hands in terms of the, you know, robotics and autonomous industry. So that's my thoughts. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.
Okay, so next up we have, this was another thing that came out of CES. Razer released this Project Ava. So I will give y'all a heads up. I did put a pre-order down for this. I'm curious about it. So it looks like it's going to be a device that you plug into your computer, and then it can, like, it doesn't have standalone electronics for its own stuff, but you can run these little companions here. Y'all know I'm getting the waifu. Call me a degen, whatever. But I don't know how they're gonna sell it, like, beyond like a life and play thing, because I don't know about using this at work. I would literally turn this off if I were working in many cases due to compliance reasons. So it has dual far field array mics, an HD camera with ambient light sensor. I've got LEDs, got avatars, and then the USB-C data and power delivery port. So this will be interesting. But what I wanted to bring this up for was, this seems like the rehashing of another project that I remember years ago. We actually talked about this on stream many years ago. It was called Gatebox, if I remember. Let me see if I can find the link for it. Was this it? No, that's... I mean, it's the same company, but, yeah. This little guy here. They had a video where this was very ahead of its time, I will say, but they did shut it down, from my understanding. I recall it was like $3,000 or so. It was really ahead of its time. But this looks like a overhaul of that original idea. I'm curious how this is going to work. If the price is right, I will buy it. I did reserve it. It was like 20 bucks, I think, to reserve it. But I'm not holding my breath that this will be an amazing experience, because one, currently utilizes XAI's Grok engine, but you'll be able to apparently put in different LLMs and stuff. But yeah, this will be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm just interested because it'll be interesting to see what it can actually be capable of doing, and when people will start to jailbreak it. The problem that I have is it's Razer. And Razer is not exactly known for quality anymore, shall we say. Okay. Chief wants a waifu bot. Damn straight! You don't want to know what I would put in that, and I have as the avatar. Is it Hakane Mitsu, or whatever the hell her name is? That one? The Vocaloid? Is that what you're gonna do? Alright, we got another video here. So this one, Microsoft sucks. We're gonna see how this is. This is a smaller creator. Hopefully it's not AI created, AI generated, although, I mean, this image could be, very much. But It's from Snurfbox. Satya Nadella's biggest mistake proves Microsoft doesn't care. Microslop 2026.
The company you call Microslop is now installing AI spyware using this same playbook they've been running for 24 years.
Yep.
Last week, Microsoft CEO told critics to move on from complaints about AI quality. The response? Microslop trended #1 on Twitter. This isn't new. From charging you for free online gaming in 2002
Hey, thank you for the follow,
Turbo454 is
Turbo.
now chilling in the lab.
to blocking free DLC so they could sell it instead, Microsoft has always chosen profit over you.
Yup,
Here's the pattern
that is definitely true.
the new threat they're forcing on Windows 11 and how to finally break the cycle. We're going back to 2002 to see how this works, because
We're going back before many of you in chat were even born. I'm pretty sure my entire mod team wasn't even born in 2002.
when Microsoft established the playbook they're still using today. Taking money for nothing. Online gaming was just starting on consoles. PlayStation 2 had a network adapter that you bought just once, and online play was free. Same with Nintendo's GameCube. A few months later, Microsoft launched Xbox Live and decided to charge its users $50 a year. For what? Not dedicated servers, your console connected directly to other players. Peer-to-peer.
Not exactly. There were dedicated servers in many cases. Yes, there were a lot of games that did peer-to-peer, but there were dedicated servers. I will give Microsoft this credit. Many people don't know how bad the PlayStation Network used to be. Part of that was it was a free network, which meant, well, Sony's putting their own money in to support this, and they weren't making enough money to justify improving it, and that's why they had so many different security issues. Like, there were so many times the Sony network went down that Microsoft Xbox boys and girls, like myself, would make fun of our PlayStation friends because one day they just couldn't, game online, whereas we could. You put my description and you missed it. Oh, it's a gaming-focused distro centered around performance first and providing enough security and immutability to be appealing enough to publishers to allow their competitive games with kernel-level anti-cheat on the distro specifically. But how does that vary from, like, Bazite and stuff? That's the question I really have.
Working. Microsoft wasn't hosting anything. They literally charged you $50 for a friends list and voice chat. Sony,
again, there were dedicated servers.
Saw people were willing to pay and thought we should do that too. Now, PlayStation Plus costs $80 a year.
No, PlayStation got breached multiple times, and it kept getting hacked, and then it was down multiple times that they just had to start charging so that they could actually afford the they could justify putting the staff in that they need to keep it up.
Microsoft normalized charging for services that were free, and every competitor followed.
Hey, thank you for the follow. I am Calypso.
Charge for nothing, make it the industry standard. Shipping hardware designed to fail. The original white Xbox 360 had a 54% failure rate. Over half of them broke down. The red ring of death.
I remember that. I made so much money in middle school and high school fixing those. So there was a trick, of course you had the towel fixes and things like that. But what I would do is I'd crack them open. There used to be this shop, Llama Mods, I think it was. And I'd buy the X clamps. You need to get a better clamp. I figured out how to fix it by improving the clamping force. And it was just a matter of you had to turn the Xbox on, leave it on for 30 seconds, it would red ring of death. Turn it off, turn it back on. It'd work every time. Got the Black Fat 360 Elite, and it's still going strong. Those are great. You need to fix your T-Mobile internet. I'm not on T-Mobile. TikTok just sucks. I'm on other platforms. They work better. TikTok isn't even a second-class citizen in my streaming category. It's a fourth-class citizen. What made you choose Pop OS? the fact that it worked with NVIDIA out the box really easily, and it basically just had everything I wanted and needed, and I like System 76 and how they do things. So I already was using like Ubuntu's and stuff like that. It's a fork of Ubuntu, so everything just fit in place. I've been sticking with it for a while. I'll upgrade to Pop! OS 2604 when it comes out. Not going to do 2404 because it just came out, and there's no point if 2604 is right around the corner.
In 2006, played Halo 2 multiplayer every day until the console died. Called Microsoft support, they said they'd fix it. 4 weeks to receive a shipping box, another month to get it back, and when it arrived, still broken. I sent it back 6 times. 6 separate attempts.
And that's why I fixed it myself.
On my 7th call, support told me, you're no longer covered by warranty. Their actual fix? Sell a new model, the block Xbox 360. This one works. They didn't recall the defective consoles, they didn't extend warranties properly, they sold you a replacement and kept your $300 from the broken one. That's betrayal number 2. Sell broken products, offer fake support, make you pay again for a working version. But it gets worse. In 2009, Valve wanted to release new Left 4 Dead maps for free on all platforms. PC, Xbox, everyone gets the same content at the same time. Microsoft said no. Not because it was technically impossible, because it set a bad precedent. If Valve gave away free DLC, other developers might do the same, and Microsoft made millions selling map packs for $15 to $20. So PC players...
And we all know Valve is the bigger game, the most loved game studio.
For the small price of $20.
And I think they will crush Microsoft gaming in the long term.
Safe Microsoft Designer wallet, inserting themselves as a middleman and taking your money. That's betrayal number 3. Block generosity to protect revenue streams. Which brings us on to the final betrayal. Games for Windows Live. If you played Dark Souls, Fallout 3, or Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC between 2007 and 2014, you'll remember this disaster. Forced Microsoft account logins, constant disconnections, games that wouldn't save progress unless you were signed in. And when Microsoft finally shut it down in 2014, your saves were gone. Games you paid $60 for became unplayable or lost all
They pulled
progress.
a Google.
No warning, no migration.
And that's why I'm more happy with Valve.
They just turned off the servers.
They haven't dicked us like that.
Bricked. That's betrayal number 4. Build mandatory systems into your products, shut them down when they're not profitable anymore, leave customers with broken software. 4 patterns, 24 years. Same company. Charge for free service.
Oh, it goes even further than that. Forget about the anti-competitive lawsuits they had that actually pushed Bill Gates out of the company, and then Steve Ballmer had to take over because the DOJ got involved in that. There was Bill Gates literally harassing journalists if they said anything negative about Microsoft. Excuse me. A lot of you don't know how tyrannical Microsoft was in the late 80s to 90s.
Sell broken hardware, block free content, abandon your infrastructure. Now it's 2026, and they're doing it again. But to understand how we got here, we need to look at where they practice these tactics on an even larger scale. Those gaming betrayals, practice runs. Windows is where Microsoft perfected forcing unwanted features on a captive audience of over 1 billion users. Because gamers could stop buying Xboxes, but Windows? Students need it for school, businesses need it for work, professionals need it for industry-specific software. You can't just leave. Microsoft realized they had leverage, and that's when the real experiment started. In 2012, Microsoft decided touchscreens were the future. Problem? Most people used Windows.
God, I remember this era. It sucked.
Their solution? Force a tablet interface on everyone. The Start menu, a core Windows feature since 1995, was gone, replaced with full-screen tiles designed for fingers, not cursors. Users hated it. Businesses refused to
I hate touchscreen laptops. They make no sense.
You'll learn to like it. 3 years. 3 years of forcing a broken interface before they finally backed down with Windows 10 in 2015. But
you're skipping at Windows 8.1. There was Windows 8.1, which was like a middle ground that actually allowed you to have a more traditional start menu and stuff like that. So they did learn their lesson. That's why Windows 10 was designed the way it is. But he's skipping an entire, other generation of stuff that came around.
here's what matters. They
Went
learned
8 and I
they could
upgraded to 10
force
so
change,
fast, yeah.
and most users would stay. Corporate IT departments can't just abandon Windows. Students can't switch mid-semester. Professionals are locked into industry software. Microsoft realized they owned you, and that's when surveillance
Your
became
laptop is a
standard.
Lenovo ThinkPad
Windows
with
10
touchscreen.
launched
I've
in
never used a
2015
touchscreen.
as a free upgrade.
Touchscreens make no sense to me because you get your fingerprints on there, and then also your fingers are right here. Okay, you're typing away. What's more intuitive? Using the mouse that's right here as you're typing or that and you need to use? Or stopping what you're doing, lifting your hand up, and then touching the screen? That feels unnatural, and it feels like it actually takes longer to do than just touching the keyboard and the mouse. And a lot of the things they said that you can do faster with a touchscreen, I could do with keyboard shortcuts.
Except it wasn't free. The cost was your data. Telemetry data tracked every program you opened, every file you accessed, how long you used your computer, what you typed, where you clicked.
Yep.
Microsoft called it improving user experience. Security researchers called it spyware.
Yep.
And you couldn't fully disable
It is spyware.
Even on professional and enterprise versions, you could only reduce it to basic level, which still sent detailed logs of your system activity to Microsoft servers. Third-party tools.
Are they using AI to generate this? Because, like, look at that. Mofessional. Are you talking about Microslop while using slop yourself with Mofessional?
Detailed logs of your system activity to Microsoft servers. Third-party tools like ONO Shutup 10 became necessary just to stop your own operating.
I used to use ONO defrag. I didn't know ONO Shutup was a thing really until a friend showed me about it. The other thing that I do is, as you know, I have a Windows PC over here for streaming, and I have a Windows PC as I'm going back to school. I also have a Windows PC that they gave me for work. I have Microsoft Telemetry blocked at the firewall. I also have Bing blocked in the firewall. One of my friends was cracking up, like, I can't even open Bing in your network. I'm like, yep, you don't need to use Bing. Use DuckDuckGo. Use Start Page. Hell, use Google. But fuck Bing.
Pattern again. Force a feature, make it nearly impossible to disable, and normalize it over time. Windows 10 introduced another problem. Mandatory updates. You couldn't skip them, you couldn't delay them permanently. Microsoft decided when your computer would restart. And those updates broke things constantly. Drivers stopped working, files got deleted, systems failed to boot. The October 2018 update literally deleted people's documents and photos. Microsoft's response every time? We're investigating. Then they'd push another update to fix.
Well, the problem is they moved to the insider track instead of actually doing the QA they should have been doing in the first place.
Previous update. They took away your control over your own computer and made you a beta tester for their software.
What did I just say? Insider track.
The most recent manipulation. The October 14th deadline lie. Microsoft said Windows 10 support ended. Your computer would be vulnerable. It was an immediate security risk. You needed to upgrade to Windows 11 or pay for extended security updates. 3 months later, your Windows 10 computer still works fine.
Okay, I have to correct him here. There are no security updates for it unless you pay for it. They were right by the problem that they created themselves, but your computer working and your computer being secure, two completely different subjects. One can be operational but insecure. So, yeah, he's definitely wrong on this point here.
Security risk was manufactured urgency. Here's the proof. Extended security updates exist and work perfectly. Outside the EU, it's free if you sync settings to OneDrive. Inside the EU, it's free with just a Microsoft account.
That's European Union actually pushing for consumer laws and everything. But if you're not in the EU, that's a whole other argument. So whether you like it or not, there are no updates unless you pay them or you're in the EU. That's just how it is. Windows XP is still operational. Yeah, Windows XP is still operational. Windows XP is the GOAT of Windows.
However, many of you mentioned in the comments that you paid. The consumer ESU costs $30 one time through to October 2026. If Windows 10 was truly unsecurable after October 14th, 2025, then ESU wouldn't be possible.
That's not the argument to be making there, dude. It's a completely fallacious argument. This is a Linux user saying this. Stop making me defend Microsoft! Microsoft doesn't want to expend resources into what they deem now as an obsolete operating system, in the very same way that in the Linux ecosystem, you find that we move on from old distributions regardless. So, like, every 2 years, you have an LTS in the Ubuntu-based ones, like Pop! OS, Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Lubuntu, and then Linux Mint has their own. And then Fedora does one every 6 months. Can you operate the old versions? Absolutely. I'm on Pop! OS 2204. I have security updates until 2027. I'm going to show y'all a website here. You probably have seen me bring this up many times. It's called endoflife.date, okay? You can find whenever any operating system is end of life. So you can get extended security updates, all of that. And then let's say, go to Fedora, since I brought that up. So right now, you have 43. 42, support is ending in 4 months. You can still use 42, but you should probably move in 43. 41 is no longer supported. I mean, if you look, you see this graveyard here. You can do the same thing with FreeBSD. You can do the same thing with Ubuntu. So like Ubuntu, I'm on 2204 with Pop! OS. The hardware and maintenance support ended a year and 3 months ago. Pop! OS does stuff to extend it. That's a whole different argument there. But the maintenance and security support ends in 1 year and 2 months. However, you pay for the expanded security maintenance, you can get it up to 2032. It's not a matter of Microsoft is manufacturing urgency. The fact is that security models and base operating systems and the architectures around them change. They evolve. And eventually, we have to ditch old systems in favor of new paradigms to allow for new constructs. Now, I'm not saying Windows 11 is necessarily doing that, but this is a fallacious argument that is like, it's not possible. The issue isn't that it's possible, it's that if it's economically worthwhile, given how the entire approach that we have for different operating systems has changed. It's the same thing as like Windows XP, you can still operate it. You can. You're not getting updates. There's nothing stopping Microsoft from giving updates to it, but architecturally, it's so old. So you use Proton VPN and Proton Pass, man of class. I'm affiliated with them. I only affiliate with products I actually like and trust. And I've been using Proton Mail for a few years since I migrated off my email server. So if you do want to support the channel, you can always subscribe through Proton with my links. Whenever you renew your plans, I get a couple bucks. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I know, you probably already have it. I'm just saying in general, if anyone else is there. But yeah, back to this.
Microsoft can keep it secure. They're just choosing not to for free. They created...
That's not it. It's not for free. It's that at a certain point in time, it's not economically really viable. What's up, Barack? What's up, dickhead? What's up, man, boy? Hey, would you stop? You're getting tangled. Hey, Papa. Hey, oh boy. I have a free tier, but it's very limited. Yeah, I always recommend, if you can, get the paid for version. It's not that expensive. Oh, God! Can I help you? No, you cannot go to any dog sites there. I already see what you do to the couch. You treat it like J.D. Vance did. Buddy. Buddy. Ah! Okay, I love you too. Ay. God, you're heavy. What do you want? Would you stop? Would you stop? Down. 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 I know. You want attention. You little attention whore, you.
Official pressure to force Windows 11 adoption. And if you haven't already noticed, it's the same pattern, same company, new decade.
It's not that. This is a fallacious argument here. Stop making me defend Microsoft. When was Windows 11 announced? They announced it 4 years ago. This isn't like they just manufactured urgency. They told everyone when the new Windows 11 came out that Windows 10 was going to be end of lifed. People just didn't want to listen to them and understand, yeah, it's going to be end of life. Now, I will give Microsoft some credit here for Windows 11. Windows Subsystem for Linux does work a lot better on Windows 11 than it did on Windows 10. There are some improvements I've seen in my own workflow, so that's fine. But, yeah.
Which brings us to today, January 2026, the AI surveillance era and the reason microslop is trending worldwide. This is where all those years of practice come together. In May 2024, Microsoft announced Recall for Windows 11.
That was a horrible idea.
Screenshots of everything you do every few seconds, uses OCR to make it searchable, and stores it in a local database. Everything. Passwords you type, bank accounts you access, private messages, medical records, all captured, indexed, searchable by an AI you don't control. Security researchers immediately tore it apart. The database was unencrypted. Any malware on your system could access your entire digital history. Microsoft called it a privacy-first feature while building a perfect surveillance tool. The backlash was instant and brutal. Microsoft paused Recall in June 2024 after just 1 month. But if you've been paying attention to the pattern, you know they didn't actually stop it. 10 months later, in April 2025, Recall came back as an opt-in preview on Copilot Plus PCs. Now with encryption,
Speaking of Copilot Plus PCs, you know that Dell announced that they're bringing back the XPS lines of laptops and all that, and they're not really all that happy with Copilot. They're doing just the bare minimum that is required of them being a Microsoft partner. They're not really advertising their Copilot stuff. Anyone who uses Recall is an actual Recall. I don't know anyone that uses Recall. Like, I've tried to find them. Chat, if you find anyone that knows Microsoft, that uses Microsoft Recall, bonus points if they actually like it, let me know. Oh, NPC, yeah.
Wearing Windows Hello authentication, now supposedly privacy-focused. But strip away the marketing and nothing fundamental changed. It's still taking screenshots every few seconds, still building a searchable database of your entire digital life, still running AI models on your local machine that you can't fully audit or disable. And here's what matters. The infrastructure is built. The capability exists. Right now, it's opt-in, but how long until it's opt-out? How long until Microsoft makes it required for enhanced security features? They spent millions developing this. They didn't build it to abandon it after some bad press. They're going to slowly normalize it, just like they did with Xbox Live fees, just like they did with Windows 10 telemetry, until people forget they were angry. That's the pattern. Force it, pause it, rebrand it, force it again.
You haven't heard of recall till
Copilot,
yesterday?
Microsoft's
Really?
ChatGPT integration, is now in Windows 11, Office 365, Edge, Outlook, Teams, and even Notepad.
This was definitely AI generated.
365, Edge, Outlook, Teams, and
Tatums. That's supposed to be Teams. Tatums.
even Notepad. You didn't ask for it, you can't fully remove it, and it doesn't work properly. Satya Nadella sent an internal memo in late 2025 saying Copilot integration with Outlook and Gmail is basically not working. His words.
I don't think I saw the
CEO
difference
admitting
between
their
Bazite.
flagship AI feature is broken, but they keep forcing it anyway.
I
Windows
don't see
11
it.
now has
Maybe it got
agentic
pushed up by
features,
my chat.
AI agents that can read and write to your documents, photos, and downloads folders. Microsoft's own warnings admit these agents might hallucinate or produce unexpected outputs. Translation, our AI might randomly modify your files, but we're not responsible. You're more or less beta testing
Anyhow, what
unreliable
makes my distro different than Bazite as well? Bazite is solely performance-based. My distro strives to be performance-focused and be appealing to publishers to allow their games with kernel-level anti-cheat, at least on my distro specifically. The problem that I have with the thing, I'm not, like, by poo-pooing it by any ways, is that, how will you compete against bigger names like Valve and such?
AI that has access to your personal data without your consent on an operating system that you paid for.
Yeah, he definitely sent the script in.
Microslop.
This is the thing, like, you're talking about microslop, but then you're making slop yourself. At least when I'm using AI for my scripts, I'm writing my scripts, I'm using AI to clean them up, improve the flow, you know, help me reformat and all of that. But ultimately, it's my own work, my own words, recording my own self, and then doing my editing.
January 2nd, 2026, Satya Nadella published a blog post titled Looking Ahead to 2026. He said Microsoft needs to get beyond the arguments of slop versus sophistication when discussing AI. He asked people to stop focusing on quality problems and trust that AI will eventually be useful.
At least it's some resume
Response
material.
was
Yeah, fair enough.
Microslop trended worldwide, not just tech Twitter, now known as X, but also on mainstream social media. Reddit created a dedicated subreddit within 24 hours because that statement perfectly encapsulates their approach. Force a half-finished product on millions of users, dismiss legitimate complaints, and then ask people to move on. Sound familiar? It's Xbox Live all over again.
Not really.
It's the red ring all over again.
Kind
it's
of.
Windows 10 telemetry all over again. Charge
Maybe.
for nothing, ship broken products, force unwanted features, dismiss criticism. 24 years, same playbook. And here's what Microsoft won't tell you. Every Copilot query, every AI feature, every intelligent suggestion, that processes on their servers.
Yep.
Your data leaves your machine, gets analyzed in their cloud, and comes back with a response. They say it's private.
They're going to be selling you ads. ChatGPT's announced they're going to be selling you ads. Microsoft is going to use this stuff to sell you ads. It's the main reason why they brought the Edge browser, was they wanted to get more information to sell you ads.
Hey, it's encrypted. They said
What's up,
Windows
Just
10
Dev? How's it going, buddy?
is anonymous too. And when they inevitably get breached, when those AI training datasets leak, or worse yet, when governments demand access, your entire digital life is sitting in Microsoft's cloud, searchable, time-stamped, connected to your account.
Oh no, what will Vampire do with all those puppy girl pics that he has and Just Dev with their femboy pics on all their machines?
The goal is not to make Windows better.
You're damn right I mess with my mods. They mess with me too.
So they can charge subscription fees forever. One of you put it perfectly in the comments of our Windows 11 video. Windows isn't an
Feeling less
operating
lightheaded?
system.
Oh, good.
It's a data collection platform with an OS attached.
I think you said you weren't
Similar
feeling
comments
well
like
when you
they're
chat
not
with
selling
me.
software, they're selling your data. Or Windows is spyware with a desktop interface. Or we're the product now. shows that you already know what Windows has become, and Microsoft is betting you'll accept it anyway. So what do? Option 1, strip the spyware. Stay on Windows 11, but remove everything you can. O&O Shutup 10 still works. Privacy-focused scripts can disable Copilot, remove recall, and block telemetry.
That seems like a lot of work.
Fight.
That's the thing. It's like so much work. That's what cracks me up when Windows users are like, oh my God, you got to be a tech person to use Linux. Not really. But you're doing all this crap just to be able to use the computer the way you want. Whereas I install Linux and it's just the way I want it. Hope you enjoy the stream segments I sent. I'll have to take a look at them in a bit. I'll probably be posting them up to TikTok and such later.
Major.
I'm fine. My puppy girls are on HDD. JK.
Update re-enables features, but it's possible. Option 2, Windows 10 with extended security updates. You have until October 2026 with ESU. That's 10 months to decide your next move. Not permanent, but it buys time. Option 3, leave Windows entirely. Linux Mint, Ubuntu, Pop! OS. They're free, they respect your privacy, and they run on older hardware Microsoft calls incompatible. Gaming works through Steam's Proton. Office has LibreOffice. Most people's workflows don't actually require Windows anymore. The pattern won't stop.
I know mine don't.
Isn't an insult. It's a warning label. This is a company that has spent 24 years
for the most part
customer loyalty. Every apology is theater. Every pause is rebranding. Every opt-in eventually becomes mandatory.
Break it into clips shortly.
They're
At least you have the full
change.
videos. Okay. So I might put those on YouTube at least.
If you want to stop falling
Guess it can't hurt to get some insight. I'm early enough in the project to where it wouldn't hurt to get some insight.
Because this pattern, it's only going to get worse. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.
Not if you keep making slop videos yourself where you're not checking them. All right, next video we have is Vampire wanted me to look at this. A DIY police digital scanner with the Zima board 2. Yeah.
I built a digital police scanner using a cheap USB SDR.
So much to talk about tonight. Pete Hegseth meets his AI.
The hell? Oh, one video just led into the next. I was like, what the hell? Why is there an audience cheering? So with that, I ask you, Chief, how exactly could I go up against something like Valve OS? Money. Money and marketing. That's the honest truth.
Built a digital police scanner using a cheap USB SDR module. And
the RTL SDRs are great.
Board too.
Okay, actually, before we go into this video, I'm going to do a quick break. I have to go to the bathroom. So we're going to take a quick 1.5-minute break for a bio break. I'm just going to put the BRB screen up with some ads. Maybe you're not going to miss anything. I will be right back. But nature is not just calling. Mama Nature is screaming. Okay, we are back. My dog made a mess upstairs, I realized. Got into the trash. So I had to clean that up and let them out. But let's see, police scanner on a Zima board.
This setup uses an antenna to receive local radio transmissions, then it decodes the digital voice chatter and makes it available as a stream on my home network, which allows me to listen in using any device like my computer, phone, or tablet. Basically, we're taking a raw radio transmission that sounds like this, and then decoding it to this.
Can you respond over to the air? RP just stated 4 masked individuals rang his doorbell and started singing jingle bells before they walked away. They were still in the neighborhood.
Pretty cool, right? Not only can I listen to the stream, but I can potentially also consume it from other processing pipelines in the future, like maybe something that does voice to text.
I've always wanted to play with the Zima board. I just can't justify getting them.
Let's check this thing out in detail, and
I got so many boards and computers. It's just in this
the heart of this project is the
weird space of
by the folks over at Icewick.
Not as powerful as a desktop, but more powerful than my Raspberry Pi.
The Zima Board 2 is a single board computer that's rocking a 4-core Intel N150 CPU, which is an x86 chip, opening up a lot of options for how you can use this board. This one has 16 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of eMMC.
You always need more
storage.
boards and computers.
The housing is made completely out of aluminum, which is super beefy. It has some unique
I always
features,
wondered if
such
that's
as the
actually
closing
aluminum.
PCIe port on
That's
the
good
side
to know.
for expansion cards, which is typically only ever seen on the inside of a computer. Similarly, there are 2 SATA ports on the back for plugging in hard drives, which is a huge win for performance if you're plugging drives in. They have a lot of marketing around using the Zima board as a network-attached storage device, also known as a NAS, but know that it's capable of much more than just that. The cardboard
Video and
packaging
radio, or what's
cleverly
that
has
about?
these holder slots
Talking
that
about
allow you
ham
to
radio
basically dock
TV
the
or
Zima
something
board
else?
and 2 drives for a NAS configuration. It's a nice touch to get you started, but I don't view this as a long-term mounting solution. It's still cool though. It comes with an optional cooling fan for heavier workloads.
Oh, I didn't know
The
that.
Zima board is passively cooled by the heavy aluminum case, which is essentially a giant heatsink. The power brick ships with plugs for different regions, and it comes with a little wiring harness for connecting drives.
That's a pretty cost-effective way to get every region to work.
Hard drive rack that has a bracket for mounting a PCIe card on the side. It gives off a kind of cool industrial vibe. I'm not ready to use it yet, but I'll definitely try it out in the future. Alright, let's move over to my desk and start hooking things up for this police scanner project. I don't know how well it comes through on the video, but I can't stress how nice this case is. It just looks and feels so premium. Super nice. Anyway, this little
That
USB
might be the
stick
lighting, but
is
it
a
makes it look like
software-defined
it's
radio
cheap
device,
plastic.
also known as an SDR. I bought it on Amazon a while ago in a kit that came with this telescoping antenna that connects using an SMA connector.
Those antennas are
There's a newer version
so-so.
of this SDR module now that I'll link in the description below, along with all the products used in this video if you want to check them out. Alright, nice, everything's hooked up. Kinda cool that the SDR module is the same color as the Zima board. It almost looks like it was made for it. Out of curiosity, I hooked up a cable to the mini DisplayPort on the Zima board so I could see what happens at boot. You can see Linux starting up, and then it ends at an info screen that includes the IP address of the Zima board. Let's throw that IP into the browser and load up the Zima OS interface. The Zima UI is really clean and simplistic. It doesn't have a ton of built-in configuration, but the platform itself is super
What's the
open,
video
and you can
about?
even check out the
Oh, he's making a police scanner with the Zima board. I'll say in the future, I plan on making another version of my OS in a different name. It will be entirely CLI based and focus on squeezing out even more performance. I think it is an alternative to overclocking and having a machine that is focused on running the game and only running the game, than for things like esports arenas and people that want dedicated gamers. Alright.
OS source code on GitHub.
Sounds
You're
interesting.
also free to install
Don't know
a
if that
completely different OS
fits
if you
my
want to,
jive,
since this
but I'm
is
sure
just
there
an
are people out there.
x86 computer. You really have a lot of options. I just want to mess around with containers and simple homelab type stuff, so the Zima OS is perfect for what I want to do. Let's open the built-in App Store and install Portainer so I can have a nice interface for installing and managing containers for my police scanner project.
Portainer is nice.
Now that we have
I was
Portainer
thinking of
running,
setting that
we
up
can get ready
too.
to start building the police scanner. I looked up the local police frequencies in my area using radio reference.
Well, like I say, the stream quality is
As an
better on
example,
Twitch,
if we
Kick,
check
and
out the town in
YouTube.
Connecticut, the thing we need to look for is the mode that the police department is using. We're looking for ones that say P25, which is the digital mode that this project will be able to decode. On the left here, you can see the frequency that they're using. Something to watch out for is modes that say P25E, which means encrypted. We won't be able to listen to those because we won't have the necessary keys to decrypt the data. So if it has an E at the end, we can't listen to it. To make things easier,
What about
I'm going to use
FMN?
my little Baofeng ham radio to tune into the same frequency that I'm interested in. This radio's analog, so take a listen to what a digital transmission sounds like when you try to listen to it without decoding it.
Yep.
It just sounds like a bunch of noise with some structure to it. Having this little radio on hand will be useful while testing my decoding pipeline for the SDR module. It will allow me to detect if data is coming through that I might be failing to decode because I have a bug in my code or something. After a few hours, I hooked up a Docker container that has everything you need to run my decoding and streaming pipeline. I published the project to my GitHub, and I'll include a link to that in the video description. Let's walk through installing it on the Zima board and listening to a live decoded stream. After that, I'll talk about how the
I've used
audio
those
pipeline
RTL
works.
SDRs. They're pretty good.
Jumping back to the Portainer instance that we installed earlier, I'll select my local environment and click on Stacks in the left pane.
There's an distro that
Then
doesn't
click
fit
on
that
the
niche
Add Stack
specifically
button
to
in the
that
upper
extent.
right.
Fair enough.
For the build method, select repository, and I'll give this stack a name of OP25 radio stream. You can call this whatever you want though. Then jumping over to my GitHub page, clicking on the code button lets you copy the repository URL for cloning.
Okay, so what, are you just doing like CI/CD basically?
To configure the frequency that we want to listen to, we need to set an environment variable called op25_FREQ. Note that the README on my GitHub page lists all the environment variables that are supported. Now for the actual frequency value. You need to specify the frequency in hertz. If you have the frequency in megahertz, you can just add E6 to the end, which means 10 to the 6th in scientific notation. Okay, cool.
Why not just key it in? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, I would have changed how you do that. Like, why would you do the scientific notation? Just have it go by megahertz and have it do the conversion.
All I have to do is just click deploy stack. This will download all the necessary...
Because I know you could do
dependencies
kilohertz and stuff, but still, you could do the same thing.
Just note that this takes a few minutes to run. The OP25 radio stream image ends up...
I'm sipping on my 50% coffee, 50% hot cocoa beverage while I work on this. Yes.
about 2.3 gigabytes. While I let this run, I'll do a side-by-side with the system monitor so you can see how the CPU is performing. The Zima board got a little warm, but nothing crazy. From a thermal perspective, installing and running this audio pipeline is no big deal at all. For heavier workloads though, this device does get pretty warm and would benefit from the optional cooling fan that came with it. Spoiler alert, I ended up installing that later just to have it available for the future. Alright, cool.
May as well.
Deploying.
Useful.
I can click into the stack that I...
Hold on 1 second. My stream is being derpy. God damn it. It didn't keep my settings that I had before. That's why. What the hell? That explains why it was being weird. For some reason, the multi-stream tool I had didn't save the bandwidth settings that I had, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Now it should be better.
And if I scroll down, you can see the IceCast and Media MTX containers, and then the OP25 radio stream container. If we click into the radio stream container, there's a logs button that we can click to view the logging and verify that everything's set up and running as expected. This will list the address and ports for the various streams. If you ever want to change the radio frequency, you can just go into the stack editor and expand the environment variables section. After making the change,
I'd also have a broadcast over at VLAN, but that's just me.
And pick up the new environment variables. Now that this is running, I can open Safari on my Mac and listen to the stream.
You.
At 145. Can you make your way over to the House of Corrections and pick up a prisoner meal?
You can do the same in Safari on your phone, or you can use an app like VLC as well. I've been thinking it would be cool to build a small dedicated device with a speaker that can play the stream too. I whipped up a quick prototype using a breadboard using an ESP32S3 and a speaker connected through a MAX 98357 chip.
I'll be transporting the prisoner to House of Corrections.
That's nifty.
Miles when you're ready.
I scavenged this little speaker from one of my son's old toys to test with. With about 30 lines of Arduino code, I'm able to connect to my Wi-Fi, grab the stream, and play the audio through the speaker. Not a bad proof of concept. Okay, let's dive into how I built this audio pipeline. Many small towns will use a single frequency for their police department, and officers will share that frequency by taking turns talking. Originally, they all used analog equipment, which could be listened to with cheap scanners or even some ham radios.
Right.
Lots of towns have either already moved over to digital or are in the process of doing so. Larger towns use even more complex digital radio systems that use what's called trunking technology, where multiple frequencies are used. The project we're working on here is designed for the more simple...
The other thing that's interesting with trunking is also, if I recall, a lot of the police cruisers have amplification inside of there, so like, I was told this basically when they use their radio, it connects back to the police car that amplified a little bit more.
Frequency scenario. After some experimentation, here's what I came up with. So we have the SDR module that receives the digital signal over the air. Then when data is received, we use an open source project called OP25 to decode it into audio that can be listened to. I want to take this audio and expose it on my home network so I can listen to it on other devices. But this has proved to be a little tricky because of the intermittent nature of people transmitting on the frequency. You can go long stretches of time where no one's talking at all. I ended up building a little shim module in Python.
It also depends on where you're at.
Data into the gaps
I know
when no one's
listening to the police scanners and stuff locally where I'm at, they're constantly going.
This creates an always-on stream of data. From there, I used a tool called FFmpeg to normalize the audio stream so it can be routed through two streaming servers that I created, Media MTX and Icecast. Media MTX uses a more modern streaming protocol, while Icecast is a more traditional streaming radio-style solution. You technically don't need both, but it gives you more options for consuming the audio from different clients. Alright, that's it. You can check out the code on my GitHub that's linked in the description. This was a super fun project. The Zima Board 2 runs my little audio pipeline without breaking a sweat. It's an awesome little device, and I can't wait to build more stuff with it. A big thanks to the Ice Whale team for sending it over. If you enjoyed following along, please consider hitting that like button and maybe subscribing. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one.
Interesting little project. I might have taken different approaches with it, but still interesting. So, next up on the docket, we have an article here. In reference to Discord going public. The company is going to have to find ways to monetize more aggressively. Would Discord going public be good or bad for its users? I'm, without going into this yet, gonna say it's gonna be bad. Which is one reason why I made the Matrix server. This is Matrix, a decentralized, federated chat platform and protocol. This is using Element for it. But this is my own server. This is at, what is it? matrix.chiefgeek3d.com. Because this, I have no control over, even though they like say it's a Discord server, it's not really a server. It's more that you have your own little rooms, if anything. So if Discord decides to take away my Discord server, nothing I can do about it. Whereas this, I have full control. So yeah, definitely check out the Discord and the Matrix. Earlier this week, the reports indicated that big moves were happening at Discord. According to Bloomberg, the company responsible for gaming's most popular social platform had confidentially filed for IPO, indicating a major move towards going public. Okay, so they met with... Your game is supposed to George Osborne, creator of the video games industry memo and author of Power Play. Okay. What does potentially going public mean for Discord? The first thing I say is that I don't think it'll be much of a surprise that it's going public. It's been talked about for many years. Companies received lots of investment over the past decade. There was a $500 million round that happened in 2022. When you're getting a business that's valued at $15 billion, whether or not that it's what its final public valuation is, those investors are going to want to cash out at some point. If there's not an obvious route to an acquisition, going public is the way to go, and it's the way they've gone. Yeah, it totally makes sense that Discord is going to be going public. I've said for a while, it can happen, it will happen. Money is the root of all evil. Or the love of money, shall we say. How challenging will striking that balance be? I think it's quite a good challenge. Probably a similar challenge Reddit faced when it went public. So overall, I'm not sure this is going to be a great thing for Discord. I'm not going to read all this in general. But I do say that there is a huge argument for why I like Valve staying private. But Valve is making money hand over fist staying private. They don't really have too much to gain by going public. Whereas Discord, well, I don't know what their profit numbers are, but when you talk about the fact that it's a free platform where a lot of people can be on there for free, paying for Turbo or, you know, whatever plans and stuff that are in Discord can only get you so far. So they definitely want to have owners cash out. So for me, that makes total sense. I don't think it's going to be a net positive in the long run. I think they will get shitified. All right. Vampire had some other videos. We got some shorts here. Got a couple shorts. What's this? The absolute worst boxers to ever have to go against.
He a regular boxer. Yeah, he don't even got no powers. Wait, no powers? For real, for real? I promise you. And he was so scared to fight us, he genuinely started crying. Oh, that's crazy. I'ma go easy on him. What's his name, boy? Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson? Oh, you know. That's a good thing. No, it isn't. Actually, none of this is a good thing. Yeah, it is. He was crying when he found out. Oh, yeah, I know he was crying. But he wasn't crying because he was scared of us. He was crying because he was scared of himself. I think he was mourning us, dog. So what, is fear like his weapon? Why he mourning us? We still here. Not for long, dog. And fear ain't his weapon. Certainty is. People don't talk about fighting him. They talk about surviving him. How many people you know talk trash by saying, I want to eat your children? What are we doing here, man? Hey, chill out, bro. We still good, man. For real. All right, I'll back off. He ain't even in his prime no more. See? Who would say prime at 20 anyways? What did you just say? Well, yeah. You always said the old ones were the ones I have to look out for. So when I chose Mike Tyson, how old is he? 20 years old?
Wait, what?
Leave me alone, bro. So he a regular boxer.
Alright, what's this? I turned Hangman into a real game. Okay.
Designed a 3D printable version of Hangman that stores inside of a book, which is now the 6th board game I've designed that transforms into a book. But to be able to play this like the original version, I had to add magnets to the body parts for each time you guess a letter wrong. And I added this letter grid so you can keep track of which letters you've guessed. But when your game is over, you can store the man back inside of the book, put it back on the shelf, and let me know which game to turn into
clever.
Next. I designed a 3D printable version of Hangman.
I actually like that. That's clever. Alright, so this was another video. The Steamworks docs are finally out. This may possibly be the last video for the night. We shall see.
How are you all doing? Mam nadzieję, że macie się wspaniale. I'm Mystical, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. However, just before we jump into this one, a super quick piece of information about the second channel, the one that is auto-dubbed in English and the one that is originally in Polish, will be dubbed by me in English so that you don't have to listen to the crappy YouTube auto-dub voice. But anyway,
I missed my question.
Where we
been meaning to ask, is it possible to actually make money having these distros? Like, for instance, I know the Ubuntu Foundation makes a killing, at least from what I heard. It took many, many years for Ubuntu to actually make money. Most Linux projects make just enough money to keep them operational. You don't really get rich off of it per se. Like, look at Linus Torvalds. He's not living large. He makes good money, don't get me wrong. But, you know, you can make money, but you're not really going to make money out of open source. You may make money out of the reputation that you have for your open source projects to then get you hired for other things, as has happened with a couple of callbacks that I got for my stuff because they look at my GitHub repo and they're like, oh, he's got some stuff.
Hack the Echo Dot. So
looked into the meta display glasses. I think a while ago we did.
How we managed to root the thing, get all of this animation stuff running with Home Assistant. Do make sure to check that out down below. Okay, now with that out of the way, we've got some super interesting pieces of information today. 7 to be specific, 7 topics we're going to be talking about. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, the most interesting piece of information, the Steamworks documentation. As Valve has officially released the Steamworks, the developer documentation for the Steam frame. So let's begin with that. As if you look between the lines inside this documentation, it actually reveals pretty much everything. Well, except for the price and the actual release date. First off, the docs confirm once and for all that the headset runs SteamOS. It's not like we didn't know this already, but SteamOS is based on Arch Linux. So this does go with the fact that you will have full access to Arch Linux and its desktop inside the Steam frame. More on that in a little bit. The second thing here is
I would be very curious if we can possibly install another operating system on the Valve frame. We'll cross that bridge once we come to it.
Decard confirmation. So yeah, we've had leaks and rumors about Decard for the longest time. I don't think we've had Valve actually mention the word Decard inside their promotional footage or anything like that. But here we can actually see that word inside the documentation. So Pacman, being the package manager for Arch Linux, sudo pacman-s decard-mesa-android-debug. So in case there was still any doubt whatsoever about the codename for this headset being Decard, that's
tried the Cosmic Desktop on Debian. What'd you think?
We have full root access. Again, this is Linux, so I'd be surprised if we didn't. That and Valve is moving along with their philosophy of essentially making all of their devices completely open. The docs list a command, sudo steamos-read-only disable. This means you can disable the read-only file system. You can have full root access.
Nice!
You can modify system files. You can also sudo pacman install any Arch Linux package. That does mean you should theoretically be able to install things like Discord, Spotify, and basically all the other things that we've been waiting years for to appear on other platforms.
The only problem is that Discord doesn't have an ARM64 version, so you have to install like ARMcord or some of those, like the unofficial Discord distribution or Discord packages. So that's one problem there. They have a version for Android, obviously, so they do support ARM, but not on Linux natively.
Here, you should just have access to that. That is, as long as those packages natively
talk longer. You should go back and see the videos that I did prior to this one. You're getting Chief starting to get tired mode.
Arch 64.
You're going to clip that, aren't you?
Well, you're going to have to go through maybe some more painstaking
I'd rather Cinnamon more.
Fourth, we've got Windows games via Proton. Again, this was a very
doing the China DRAM video?
The Decard, and something that a lot of people still don't get. to this very day, this thing has a native desktop. It can run these titles. No, I'm not saying it can run them well. After all, this is a headset that still has a mobile CPU. It doesn't have a GPU like your typical desktop would, but it does have a Linux desktop, and it does have Proton, meaning that you can run them. How well, we're not entirely sure of that yet.
Now, the question I have here is with the Valve frame. I could theoretically stream my game running off this big boy here with the 5070 Ti to my Valve frame headset, if I'm not mistaken there. Which would be interesting, because that could take care of a lot of the performance issues, especially on my network, where I've got things optimized so well, especially once I move to Wi-Fi 7 and get 2.5 gigabit networking.
You bet that if it can run them, people are
Heading
going
out
to make
before I
mods
go.
in order to
Just
make
want to say this project may not be able to keep me afloat alone. I'm not interested in living large. I'm only interested in earning a living. All right, fair enough. Well, have a good night, Shiraz. Thanks for hanging out. Wait, there's no ARM for Mac? Well, Mac is different.
well. Plus, if people are desperate enough, they will run Half-Life Alyx even at 144p. Not that I'm saying it will run at 144p here, hopefully it will run higher, but we will see. This is all native, by the way. No computer, no wirelessly streaming from anything. Yes, that is apparently its primary purpose, but it doesn't need it in order to do this, which is why it's such a big deal. It's an open ecosystem, something we haven't had in a headset to date. We've all been on locked down Android with bootloader locking, no root access, no fun. Well, the fun starts now. And talking about fun, we've got Lepton, which is its Android compatibility layer that is native on the headset. As a matter of fact,
can give you a Wi-Fi 6G Wi-Fi dongle with the Steam frame.
Plug it in via USB.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I know that they're going to give us the dongle for us to go directly off of this computer. What I'm talking about is, if I'm in the basement, can I stream 2 floors up? Like, does it go through my network? Like, how will that work out? That's my question. Like, will I only be able to stream when within range from this? And how far of a range is that?
Allowing for USB debugging and sideloading of APK packages, which is pretty crazy. That is also pretty crazy. I don't know what that is. Whose alarm sounds like that? This means that, theoretically speaking, someone might make some sort of compatibility layer in the future that will allow you to run Quest games on the deck card. Now, this doesn't sound like it would be very legal, so let's just err on the side of caution there and don't pirate games, obviously. But hopefully it'll make it a lot easier for developers to be porting their games from Quest to the deck card. So developers, in my eyes, this is more for you than for anyone else. This isn't all, however, as the documentation actually goes quite deep, and it will obviously be down in the description for you in case you want to look through all the tabs. But to give you a little bit more, it gets even better for developers, or anyone who actually wants to sideload games. The documentation reveals how the SteamOS dev kit client actually works, and it basically confirms this is a universal soldier of headsets. When you upload a game, there is a drop-down menu for the runtime. You can literally choose between Steam Linux runtime for native Linux games.
Nice review. He said he couldn't go away from the room.
Steam Play, which is Proton to run Windows exe titles, or Android in case you want to install APK files. You don't need different emulators or any weird ways of installing.
Oh, so you can run Android apps on it too?
The 3 natively. We also get a major clue about the power of this thing. The setup guide states that the headset requires a minimum of 27 watts to charge while playing, but they recommend a 45 watt adapter. For context,
that's actually not a lot of power.
Quest 3 usually draws much less power. And finally, we've got Remote Desktop. Valve isn't hiding the desktop here. The docs even explain how you can use XRDP to remote into the headset. Yes, you can actually remote into the headset instead of remoting into your computer from the headset. How crazy is that? The default username is SteamOS and the password is Frame. It's a PC on your face. This is why I'm so unbelievably excited for the deck art and cannot wait to see what people get going on this thing.
It's PC on your face. Ladies. If you haven't learned by now, men like things sitting on our face. Thank you, I'm here till Thursday. Tip your waitress, try the veal.
Let's move on to the next piece of news. As while Valve is building a Linux powerhouse, the war for the standalone market is heating up. Following Meta's retreat from the third-party hardware, Google has officially picked up as the champion. Google has announced a multi-year extension to its partnership with Xreal, positioning them as the lead hardware partner for Android XR ecosystem. This is regarding Project Aura, the headset that we saw recently. We now have more specs, as it apparently has a 70 degrees field of view, uses a Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2, and offloads...
Those are pretty sleek, but
which a lot of people are actually going to be happy about, apparently.
I don't know how I like that it always has a camera that's recording or something like that. That's... yeah.
Computing to a puck, which a lot of people are actually going to be happy about, apparently. Interestingly, the puck looks like a smartphone, but doesn't have a screen. The entire surface is a trackpad for mouse-like input. Now that is a useful use of the puck. I mean, imagine it just essentially being a trackpad, but looking like a phone. That's pretty cool. You could probably also put a camera on it as well, and yeah, actually, that's pretty dumb. You already have cameras on your face and then just add more cameras to the puck. But yeah, now with Meta out of the game, you know, retreating away from their open Horizon OS ecosystem, Xreal is basically becoming the Pixel of the AR glasses world.
The problem with it is that it's Google. The problem with it being Google is you can't trust them to support the damn product. Like, I was looking at getting a Google Pixel tablet. They haven't released the new Google Pixel tablet, so if I were to buy one today, put Graphene OS on it, I maybe only have security updates for 2 years. Google has a graveyard that is so extensive with so many different innovations they've had. A lot of them were great ideas. I just can't get anything Google and trust that it will exist, so it's so hard for me to standardize on it or rely on it when I always have in the back of my mind, this platform, this product may be gone.
Quite interesting. Now, another little something that Meta is apparently retreating from, but not on their own accord, is selling Meta Ray-Ban display glasses in the EU. Now, theoretically, we didn't have a release date for these in the EU, and as a lot of you know, probably from our previous videos, these are being sold in limited quantities, or at least Meta doesn't seem to have enough components in order to build enough of them. Essentially, demand is higher than what they can produce. First off, the good news, as the neural band features are rolling out. If you are in the US, you are getting the handwriting recognition feature. This lets you write messages on any table or surface with your finger, and the wristband decodes the neural signals to type text. It sounds sci-fi, but it's really cool, and this is actually, I believe, the feature people were most
Wasn't this the headset that failed
saw the neural wristband
when Zuckerberg was demoing it or something like that?
Now for the bad news. If you live in the UK, France, Italy, or Canada, you're going to have to wait. Meta has officially delayed the international rollout of the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses and neural band to 2026. Now, it wouldn't be an AR and VR news video without some sort of chaos in the high-end headset market. Well, that's what we have here. First off, Pimax. They have begun shipping their dream headset in small batches, but there's a catch, as the official head strap isn't actually ready, so they're shipping these out with a temporary head strap. I don't have one of these in my hands, but it seems the thing is so tiny that this temporary head strap might not actually be as terrible as it sounds. It's basically a fabric strap. They promise the proper 3D hard strap will ship later. Now, it might seem a bit amateurish to ship a high-end headset with a strap like this, but I do understand that Pimax wants to get these headsets out. And I believe once people try it on and see those 13.6 megapixel micro OLED panels, they might just be able to forgive the temporary head strap.
That seems very high resolution for an eye.
Second, Shiftall. Remember Megan X? Well, Panasonic has officially ended its collaboration with Shiftall. Shiftall has been sold off and is now an independent company. Despite this breakup, they are launching the Megan X 8K Mark II. It's a 90Hz micro OLED headset that uses SteamVR tracking. It's good to see they survived the corporate split. But the high-end market...
I actually like that the headset flips up. I think more headsets should actually do that, because there's a lot of times where you want to maybe have a conversation, somebody bugs you, and you just flip it up, rather than just, like, sit it on top of your head. I feel like that, like, the goggles on your head kind of feels goofy versus a flip up. Feels more like that night vision thing that you see in the military.
Still looking like
Makes it feel like a badass.
It's essentially a bunch of different companies doing a bunch of different things. No one has yet entirely decided whether they want to go standalone, use SteamVR tracking, or what they're doing. I mean, even the Valve frame has moved away from base station tracking, and yet other headsets are continuing to utilize the technology. Not that that's a bad thing, it's still the most accurate kind of tracking that we have, but it's just funny how the actual creators of said tracking have moved away from it, and other companies are continuing to use it. Now, onto some Quest leaks. It wouldn't be a news video without some Quest leaks. First off, surface typing. Meta is working on a feature that projects a virtual keyboard onto your real-world desk. You can calibrate the position, and hand tracking detects your key presses on the physical surface. This sounds way better than
that seems like
Secondly,
such a weird way to type.
PC streaming and
I feel like I'd be smacking on the desk so much with the virtual keyboard like that. I feel like I need tactile responses. Like, you know, with my mechanical keyboards, even a membrane. Whereas this, it's like I'm just typing on wood.
HDMI link.
The Verizon outage today was crazy. I don't think I've ever been without cellular ever. Yeah, there was the AT&T and T-Mobile outage over the past couple of years or so. I've experienced it. But you know what? I grew up where we didn't have cell phones. It's kind of nice.
Capture cards are becoming combined into a singular app flow. Pretty cool. Luna on X has also found references to a fit adjustment feature for a device codenamed Phoenix, likely the next high-end Quest. It suggests the headset will be able to tell if you're wearing it correctly, similar to the Vision Pro. Honestly, probably the handiest feature out of all of them, if it works well, as quite a few people have issues putting on the headset correctly and adjusting it. Whether it's IPD, or whether it's the actual way the headset is sitting on your face, every time someone new puts on a device, I have to explain to them how to wear it. It's a feature that would come in super handy for something like that, and could potentially make first encounters a lot better. Let me know down below if you got that reference. And finally, we've got VR chat beating records during the new year, as apparently they've started off 2026 with a bang. On New Year's Eve, they set a new concurrent user count of nearly 150,000 people online at once. This proves that despite what the naysayers are saying, social VR is growing fast. Now, yeah, there's going to be debate about that one in the comment section. And for
I still have never done VR chat or anything like that. I don't have a VR headset.
Of the Quest, you're in luck, as apparently a new mod has been seen online. People have been doing this for a while now, but this one popped up on my feed, and people are modding the Apple Vision Pro dual knit band onto the Quest. So in case that's an aesthetic you enjoy, yeah, you can totally do that now. Whatever works, and whatever is most comfortable. After all we want to do is wear the thing for as long as possible without it hurting our faces. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. If you like this one, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess this button works too, but let me know why down below. Make sure to check out the second channel video down below if you guys are into tech and hacking. Now, again, it is auto-dubbed in English, so my voice is going to sound super weird, but in case you're Polish, hopefully you can enjoy my voice in Polish. And I will make sure to do my very best to get the actual dub out ASAP. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone supporting the channel, whether you're a Patreon, whether you buy me a coffee, whether you're supporting through super chats or anything like that, or whether you're just watching. Seriously, much love, you are.
Okay, so that was mystical. All right, let's go through a couple more things here. vampire had. What is this? A Mr. Tav video? Oh, I haven't seen him in a while.
Mr. Toff, tell me a word in your foreign language that just sounds insanely inappropriate to English speakers.
In the eastern part of my country, Nigeria, when you want to say America, you say Rory East.
Okay.
When you want to say God, you say Aya.
Okay.
And when you want to say bless, you say Mate. So when you arrive in the American airport and you want to say, God bless America, you scream, I am a terrorist.
Mr. Toff,
Oh, God.
tell me a word in your foreign language that just sounds...
I can't believe that's actually a real thing. That can't be real. Okay. Oh, come on. And then, I don't know if we talked about this before. Wolfenstein is one of my favorite game series. We've played it many times. It's a Hanukkah tradition that I play Wolfenstein and we go kill some Nazis. They are releasing a new Wolfenstein 3. So, I'm really looking forward to that. This studio that did the New Order and all them, I think did a fantastic job refreshing the entire Wolfenstein genre to the point that the latest Wolfenstein games are my favorite Wolfenstein games. Yeah, that's the New Order, the Old Blood, and the New Colossus. Those three were absolutely fantastic. And yes, Youngblood was, in fairness, somewhat disappointing. It was a little bit disappointing, I will say that. I'll be curious to see what the studio manages to cook up with Wolfenstein 3. I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opportunities for me to use this sound. Where is it? But yeah. Okay, my Alexa is a drug dealer. What is this? Okay, what's this YouTube short?
Play music. Alexa, skip song. Alexa, skip song.
Your order for 2 kilos of crystal meth has been placed.
What?
A contract to assassinate drug lord Joaquin La Culebra Sanchez. Okay, I started a beef with every single gang on this planet.
Oh, God.
God can't help you.
DEA, open up! I don't have a permit for these. You gotta hide them. Do it or I show them your tax statements.
Oh, that was a bit off the wall. That was good. That was a good video. Alexa's a drug dealer. I love these short videos because they remind me very much of Vine. I don't know if many of you remember Vine. It was a great platform for people to actually have all sorts of creativity, and I think it was, 7 seconds if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Anyway, it's getting a little bit late. I'm gonna probably be on stream tomorrow or maybe Friday, because I got some more content that I have to go through with these videos and stuff. We got quite a few videos to still clear out. Yeah, we definitely do. So I want to get through that, and I'm making a note for myself for tomorrow. So I want to get through some more of these videos so that we can watch them all together, as well as I have a firewall to build. I'm waiting for new memory to come. That should be here in a week. I had to get low profile memory, so I have a firewall overhaul. There will eventually be some content covering that, and as well as going to be zero trusting the network. So we're going to have plenty of content around that. Of course, YouTube is primarily where I post my first videos when I'm not streaming. TikTok gets clips shortly after. But yeah, when my sub is till March. Twitch is telling me to sub with Prime. Your Prime just probably replenished or whatever. But, yeah, we'll have some more fun, in the coming days. We know when to send the info over for your books. Oh, yeah. I will, this Saturday, finish up my books for taxes and everything, and I'll get with you on that. But, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's getting a little late here. I do have work tomorrow. I also have a phone interview for a potential new job, so I definitely want to get plenty of sleep before that. That's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And then maybe tomorrow evening we'll stream again. Maybe. But the next official planned stream is Sunday. So Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is usually when I start. Maybe I'm going to try to be doing Sunday streams a little bit sooner. Saturday, I'm going to try to do some editing of content, and then I got to do all the stuff for the tax man, get that together. But otherwise, I will see you all later. Make sure, if you haven't already, follow me on all of my socials. I am on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Blue Sky, Mastodon, and I have a Discord and Matrix server. The links are all in the bio for all of it. So make sure you follow me everywhere. As always, stay safe. I love you all. Happy hacking, and if you're on Twitch, stick around for the raid.